The year is 1989. Location, Midwood Mall. Murders, plentiful. I'm Derek.
I'm Whitney.
I'm Jack.
This is Bad Movies, Worst People.
Ow!
All right. So I really like this movie. I'm just going to say it right up front.
Okay.
It's very entertaining.
I will say this real quick, just to let you know about me. I got into these movies much later in life. Nobody in my childhood would let me watch anything near this.
You were so sheltered.
I was very sheltered. I was a good little Catholic boy. Was.
But
I had to find out about these on my own as a more drunken adult, I guess we'll say. So I'm open to them very much so, and I really enjoyed this, but it's a different type of genre than I normally watch.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have any childhood exposure so much because my parents, we watched movies and stuff, but I think the scariest thing they took me to theaters to see was Jurassic Park.
Okay.
And I mean, I didn't really watch, but I saw X-Files when they were watching it, and that had some scary shit. Like, I'm still scared to this day to use porta potties or outdoor toilets.
That's exactly what I was thinking when you're like scary. It's like, well, if you're taking a shit in like a national forest.
Yeah, because that fucking worm dude.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not using mall bathrooms anymore either, I'll tell you that.
Conrad might pop up.
Conrad the Cobra.
Oh,
dude,
Conrad.
we were at camping 2 years ago, and it was campground where they have the set up bathroom and stuff, and it's just like a 40-foot ditch that's underneath it. Went in there. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take a shit because I hadn't taken a shit for 3 days. Mm-hmm. I went in there and I teetered over the edge and was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go dig a hole in the woods.
And he did that. True story.
Hey, I'll tell you right now, I love a good out in the wild poop. It's one of my favorite things about camping.
We even bought a poop tent.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's bougie.
It's it's just it's like a cube or like a rectangle shaped thing that just goes around. You put the hole, and we had I even got one of those fold out toilet seats.
Talk to me like I don't understand a poop tent, guys.
I didn't know if you knew.
I knew right what you.
It was funny though. I bought.
Okay, all right, fair.
I bought the toilet stool, that has a toilet seat. It's funny that it's called a stool. I bought the toilet stool and the tent thing because I didn't want, I knew we were gonna be near a campground. And Zoe was talking shit oh, we're going to go glamping. And I was like, if that's what you think glamping is, you are in for a rough surprise. You're going to have to dig a hole for your own shit.
But this tent thing is awesome. Think of and this is a bad part, think of a toddler's play tent. But the way you pop it open is the sun visor. You twist them closed.
Oh,
and
okay.
And it goes whomp whomp.
So you can just cartoon this thing.
Yes, you just shake it down, set it, unzip the bottom, have a breeze.
Man.
But you know what? Taking a shit in the woods has little to nothing to do with a mall.
No.
So,
let's talk about the movie.
I guess in the 80s, you could have bought this stuff at a mall.
At this mall, definitely.
Oh, yeah, especially at the Rouge House.
Yes, at the Rouge House with your flamethrower. This movie's from 1989, as I said, directed by Richard Friedman, who he's directed quite a few different things. A couple other horror movies. One called, both of them possible episodes.
Okay.
One called Scared Stiff. One called Doom Asylum. And I'd never seen Doom Asylum. And
what year is Scared Stiff from?
87.
Okay, never mind.
And Doom Asylum.
All right.
They're both from 87, and if that tells you anything. Yeah, I bought I was buying this, and I was reading some stuff about it online. The movie we're doing, by the way, Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge.
Oh, yeah.
Because this movie has a fucking subtitle, even though it's the first and last one.
I wondered that and had to look it up. I'm like, is this the second or third installment of a mall kind of trilogy?
They want you to know the twist before they expose it to you.
It was very confusing.
Yeah, I was okay.
But yeah, I just watched Doom Asylum on Saturday because I knew we were doing this today, and I was like, oh, I'm going to compare them because everything I saw online said Doom Asylum is better. Doom Asylum is not better
than this.
No, this is worlds better. I mean, the writing is better, the effects are better, the kills are more entertaining. And when I say the writing is better, don't get me wrong, this is not a good movie. But as we were going through, I was like,
It's got plot.
well, yeah, I was like, these things, they're setting something up and then they're using it, and they're setting it up and they're using it. You know, full on Chernobyl's chainsaw, but more quickly. It was like, you know,
Phantom's flamethrower.
There we go. That's what we're gonna use for this one. Phantom's flamethrower.
Well, we got.
I just love
you can say better.
I just love that anybody who like comes in to start listening to this later on is gonna be like, "What the fuck is Chernobyl's chainsaw?"
What did we have last time? We had somebody's nunchucks. I don't know, man.
Something with an R. Somebody's Ruger.
Oh, Ryuk's.
Ryuk's Ruger.
Ruger.
Jesus, I can't talk today.
That's all right.
It's a good thing we're not recording a podcast. He also did a movie called either A Detour for Christmas or Christmas Crime Story,
Okay.
and I want to kind of watch it to see if it's an episode because the cover, the poster is just a gun with like Christmas color stripes on it.
You might know this about me. You might not. I hold Christmas movies in a high reverence where I do not like bad, nasty Christmas movies. I just don't.
So you didn't like Violent Night?
Won't see it.
Oh my god!
Even though
should.
Derek said I'm turning into a ginger Santa,
You
he has
are.
to put his hair back to go fight somebody.
Yeah.
I'm coming. I'm going up your chimney.
I loved this movie so much.
I'm sure it's a great movie.
Wait,
I just can't
Violent
do
Night?
it.
Yeah, Violent Night.
Okay,
Yeah.
you said this movie. So
Oh yeah, well I did like this.
Yeah,
movie.
I just can't do it. But anyway, that's just me.
Okay.
So you could force
So
me
you're
to, and I'll
out.
watch it. Yeah, I'll do it. It's for the greater good.
I mean, what about what's the one with Dennis
Bob?
Leary,
The Ref.
the ref?
Have you watched it recently?
No,
It's barely a Christmas movie. We timed it
Yeah.
out, dude. There is at least a 30 to 40 minute stretch without a Christmas tree or a Christmas decoration in this movie.
okay.
Okay.
This is a whole tangent, and we don't like those here on this show, guys.
No.
I mean,
Where I did not like Christmas, the movies, the celebration, the decorations at all for the longest time. Started watching anti-Christmas movies along the lines of The Ref,
Okay.
Scrooge, which is one of the best movies ever fucking made, hands
with
down.
Bill Murray.
And now I have a reverence for it because I have friends that got me into it, and now I will not watch these like bad Santa types for me. I don't judge you if you want to. I've seen reindeer games.
okay.
I
so
paid money to see reindeer games. I'll admit it right
That's
here.
too bad.
Fuck,
So-
yeah, it is too bad.
Violent Night has nothing like Bad Santa at all. Violent Night we saw it in theaters. And,
But he's killing, and he's.
I mean, there's a lot of
Hey,
blood.
hashtag not my Santa.
You know what? They give you an origin story for Santa, which is pretty dope.
Does he grab him by the presents?
Oh my god. No, I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah,
so
please don't.
anyway,
If you're famous, they let you grab them by the presents.
So let's get to the
to-
credits of
So
this.
this movie is happening. Also, by the way, one of the writers, the main writer and producer, did Silent Night, Deadly Night. Speaking of Christmas
Okay,
movies,
yeah.
So,
So before we even get to any scenes, I'm watching the credits. This will let you know a little bit about myself. I got more excited to see Pauly Shore's name than I did Morgan Fairchild's name. Pauly fucking Shore.
yeah,
I was very excited to see his crazy fucking hair.
Oh yeah.
yeah, he's like, I don't know what he was doing there, like a fake Jerry curl, like
Dreadlock.
Almost
There you go.
dreadlocks. Yeah, he actually kind of looks very similar to his character that he voices in Goof Troop the movie.
Yes.
Oh,
He kind of looks like
Max.
no,
No,
Max is
Max
the
is
son.
friend.
Yeah.
He's the friend, the
Friend of
Leaning
Max,
Tower
yeah.
of Cheesa.
Jesus.
when I first heard about this and I heard Pauly Shore was in it, and it's like a pre-Weasel Pauly Shore.
I have written down Pauly Shore origin story.
Yes, because there is a scene where Jack pointed out that he was wearing a weasel shirt.
Oh no, it's a deleted scene. You
Oh,
didn't
it's
see
in the
it.
deleted
Oh.
scenes.
It's the alternate opening to this movie where you got I don't know anybody's fucking
okay,
name except
Suze,
his.
You have Suze, and you have
Yeah, Susie,
Mindy?
Melody.
Okay, so Suze, Mel, and Buzz, because that's his name,
And
are
Eric.
watching Eric do a what's that
Gymnastics.
pommel? Oh yeah, it starts on the rings and it goes to a pommel horse, and he's wearing a red shirt that's like. It's a cartoon weasel sliding into like a
baseball,
baseball base kind of thing, and it just says the weasels. Oh, here's a theory for you:
Here's a
connected universes, right? This guy's name is Buzz because he hasn't found out about weed yet. He's a drinker. Then he finds weed in the '90s and becomes Stony.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it.
I mean, he's got it's similar hair.
Yeah, he
I mean,
hasn't
he's
grown
just
it
got
out
that
yet.
curly ass
he
hair.
just let it. He
He's
went
got
from like
curly
a
hair.
weird faux hawk, like almost a mullet hawk thing.
Yeah, I don't know
going
what
on.
this was. It was like, yeah.
And letting it's semi-dready.
It was a pile of curly shit on someone's head.
yes,
But I mean, so he's playing the exact same character he always plays,
Yeah,
just
he's
slightly less dumb and
playing
not
himself.
high.
Speaking of what is Morgan Fairchild, Do you think she's ever been able to wear glasses? That nose is so fucking tiny. They're just like...
Well, before she got all the surgery, I'm sure it was
When did she
fine.
not have surgery?
When she was born.
I think that she's the first person to get under 18 surgery. She had laws changed in California.
Daddy was a surgeon.
Daddy was a surgeon.
All right, so the very first shot of this movie.
Oh my gosh. The best part of this movie is coming right now.
So before the credits, really, there's a little short, cold open where you get the first kill. Less than 2 minutes before someone dies.
We looked. I was like, pause it. 2 minutes.
That's what I want from these movies, too, by the way.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's the thing, is it keeps up the pacing mostly. It's it's good. I don't know. We have a mysterious man creeping around in the mall. If you read the title of the movie, you already know who it is. His name is Eric.
Twists off a mannequin head.
He's played by a guy named Derek Rydall.
Didn't know him.
Nope. But he was also in the movie Popcorn, which also might be a future episode. Another terrible, wannabe shitty horror movie.
You had me at terrible.
He had me at popcorn.
That's true.
So he's creeping around in the mall, and he's stealing stuff from the sporting goods store, and he grabs a jacket and a crossbow, and he just twists off a mannequin's head, and you're like, okay.
What is happening here?
You can get a jacket, a hat, a crossbow, and a mannequin head?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One-stop shopping.
Yeah, I'm like, what, is he getting a jacket at this fucking same store? He's getting a crossbow? I don't, but I guess it's
Where
a
do you
hunting
get your
jacket.
crossbows?
I usually buy mine from a guy on the street. He's got a jacket or a trench coat that he opens up, and it's just guns and crossbows.
He's usually colorful, and he's got some weird dog by him, and they're both just selling.
And there's a light right on him.
Yeah.
So that you know he's got merchandise you can buy.
Oh, okay. Side quest here.
Yeah, exactly.
See if I have an exotic coin on me.
I know, I'm a girl. I shouldn't know that shit.
Bullshit.
Hey, girls play games. I mean,
Okay, I'm Whitney. I shouldn't know that shit.
you played a whole lot of Wonderlands.
I sure did. Oh my god, I played.
That's
the
why you
fuck
said he's
out of
very
that game.
colorful.
Yeah. You had a very specific NPC in mind.
I did.
So this old security guard enters the thing, and he's looking around, and Eric just stops moving. And
This guy's not a T-Rex.
Yeah. He's looking around. By the way, he is not even he doesn't notice Eric for I was gonna say minutes, but obviously it's less than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But he's looking
But
around
a good 10 seconds where he's panning around.
and he shines his little terrible flashlight. They should have mag lights, but this little tiny thumb
How you
flashlight.
gonna beat up delinquents if you don't have a mag light?
Exactly. And he sees him, and he gets up right in his face, holds the flashlight on him, and then he's like, wait a second. Hold on, I wrote it down. You ain't no mannequin. This ain't Halloween, pal.
Also has a fucking revolver in his hand.
Oh, 38.
A little, yeah.
Probably
I
is
mean,
it the
I
same
wouldn't
one
know.
that Morgan Fairchild was using later?
No. This
okay.
is the same one that.
The security guy. This is standard
Yes.
issue 38 revolver.
Like a cop's
38
had.
special.
I
Yeah.
was gonna
Back
say,
in
you
the
say
80s.
standard issue. I don't think mall security carries guns.
In the 80s,
Every
I
one
think
of
they
these
did.
guys did.
Not in the 80s. Now they might carry guns. In the 80s, they didn't.
No, now they carry tasers.
Well, now all the kids have guns.
Let's go back to cops carrying crossbows. They're still going to shoot some people, but at a much slower rate.
It could be just like in England, and you could just have goofy hats and hit people with sticks and not get guns.
Nightstick. Sorry, that's for later on in this episode.
So we're introduced to Harv Posner, who we don't get his fucking name for 20 minutes, and
I
it's
just
driving
kept
me
calling him
crazy.
poser.
You did.
I'm
Fucking
trying to take
poser.
notes, and I'm like, I just keep having to write mall guy or mall owner. I was like, who the fuck?
You know what, though? Mall Guy is actually his personalized license plate.
I wouldn't doubt that.
Harv Posner is the character played by Jonathan Goldsmith, and I was like, I know this guy, so I looked him up, and he's one of those guys, and he was in every show basically from 1975 to 1995.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I don't know which one he's from. I know one of the ones that stuck out in my head is the A-Team, but he's in 1 to 5 episodes of every show that existed.
So should we have a that guy Giuseppe?
See, but with
Oh,
that
these
guy
movies-
Giuseppe, I want you to know what he's from. So to me, that guy Giuseppe is the only guy in this movie I knew, besides knowing Fairchild and
Okay.
Pauly Shore, which is, we'll get to him, but Mac's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mac's dad from
Always Sunny.
Always Sunny, and officer, I don't know his name, Detective Moore, I think, but he called him Crate in Bosch.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
good. He comes up eventually.
You'll see him soon.
So Posner is giving this introduction speech to the mall, and it's a grand opening speech, even though at the end of the movie
grand
we
opening's
have a
coming
grand
up.
opening party. So yeah, they're opening the theater They're
It's a
opening the
soft
mall.
opening.
I say the theater because the only thing I go to the mall for anymore is the movie theater.
I straight up thought about that when I was watching this. I was like, man, look, Miller's Outpost. There's a
Oh my God, I
they
remember
had
that shit.
Sam Goodies.
Sam Goodies. There's
I wrote
stores
that.
I recognize, and I'm thinking I haven't been to the mall outside of a movie in decades.
Yeah.
Would you say it's a super soft opening?
Super
Yeah,
soft
super
opening.
soft.
You want a
We-
super soft opening until you get one.
You know, we used to go to the mall pretty regularly, but we didn't actually go to any stores. We just walked around the mall playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
My
Because
ass
you
looks
could walk
great.
around and get a bunch of stuff, but also you didn't have to be outside in the heat.
Now you're talking my
we
language.
were walking around seeing all those same, like, you know, the old people, the mall walkers, like
Yep.
old people that go into the mall and power walk and stuff. We would see the same people all the time, and I was like, are we one of the mall walkers now?
Now we are. Yes. That was one of our early dating scenes. We weren't even married yet. So that was a date for us.
You're
Let's,
still together, huh?
hey, babe, you want to go pokey hunt in the mall in the AC?
Wait, you want to poke? Wait, oh,
Yes.
you said pokey.
Go for a bit of a pokey.
So he introduces the most recognizable person to probably this generation, the generation this movie came out, which was Morgan Fairchild.
Yeah.
Because Pauly Shore was nobody at this point. Morgan Fairchild playing Mayor Karen Wilton.
Wow, you definitely got more out of this than I did.
Hey, this is my job. I write down little things.
I
that,
just
like,
knew her as the mayor. Like, I know she's in charge.
I think one person says Karen and one person, and he says Mayor Wilton. This is the
Yeah.
only time though. Like the rest of the time, they just say,
That one security guard is like, yeah, Miss, or I'll do that for you, Miss Mayor Wilton.
"Oh, okay." I think everybody else just says Mayor or Miss Mayor. But she's in this movie, and she. I don't
She's
care.
in it.
Spoilers. She meets an incredible demise.
Yeah, I like her
it.
death.
Yeah.
Yes, her.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
She's here for a paycheck. I mean, she's not excited about this role. She's getting paid.
I think this, along with the song that they paid for, the Vandals song there,
Yeah.
are the things they're using to try to bring people to this movie.
Because I feel like this is towards nearing the end of her like spectacular career where
I mean, this is
we got
89.
Fairchild. I called her Chandler's mom, honestly.
Yeah.
When she came on, I was like, because I couldn't remember. I knew it because 20 minutes in, I was like, Morgan Fairchild.
I think that's generational, though, that we know her from Friends more than any of the probably
but
dozens
I knew
and
her
dozens
prior.
of movies.
I definitely knew her prior,
But
but,
not
I was
in-
just like, first role.
Not anything you
Chandler's
cared
mom.
about, though.
Oh, definitely not.
Chandler's mom, you cared about.
Fuck
She
yeah,
made
we
out with
did.
Ross.
Hell yeah, she did. Girl.
Get you some of that.
She was on
you
General
some of that.
Hospital. Apparently,
Yes.
she's still on General Hospital, or at
the
least as
fuck?
of last year.
Oh.
It says on IMDb, it says General Hospital 1996 to 2022.
Does she still have a nose?
So she wasn't on it yet at this point.
No, she's actually gone full Voldemort.
Or are they like rebuilding a nose for her?
Potter.
Oh, that's amazing. Her name was either Haven de Havilhand or Sydney Chase. She's played two characters.
I remember Sydney Chase.
Oh, I guess she was only in 4 episodes, so she was just been spread out. Who gives a
I
shit?
bet she's got a great slap.
She's got a great spread.
You know what she was in, though? A bunch of movies that were on Lifetime. All right.
Yes, sir.
Oh, she does have a good slap.
Get you a bit of that.
She's done. I've seen a few movies with her getting. She gets a good like that.
I'd have a
The
taste.
slap back.
I'd have a taste.
So we're also introduced to the 2 of the other main characters. Well, this is where they go through the roll call of all the characters here. So we've got Posner, played by whoever. I mean, so I'm going to go with character names and actor names. Hope you guys are fine with it.
Stick
So
with
we've got
us.
Posner, Fairchild, Melody, who's played by a woman named Karen Whitman.
Not Marsha.
Not
Yes,
Marsha.
Yeah, definitely looks. She's the low budget.
Ben
fucking
Stiller's
Or
wife.
Ben Stiller's wife, yeah.
Marsha Brady.
They're divorced now.
Also,
Ooh.
Also-
Are you saying I got a chance?
You have a chance. 1 in a million.
I saw that 1 in a million talk back there.
she was a previous playmate. This
Yeah.
the main girl
okay.
here.
That's
so
why those titties are like.
yeah, she has no problem getting naked.
I actually looked her up, and the only thing that I've seen her in, which I don't know if I knew her character.
Playmates Prom 3.
No, she was in Beverly Hills Cop, either 1 or 2,
Two.
as a playmate.
As a playmate.
Two,
As
Playmate.
a playmate. So I was like, well, I mean, I looked at her, I'm sure, but she
Yeah.
probably didn't have a speaking line.
I think she just feels really familiar because she looks like fucking Marsha Brady.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that was a big thing.
I also said she kind of gives a vibe from like Can't Buy Me Love. I know it's not
Okay.
her because that girl was Annie and
yeah.
like
No, but same vibes is what you're saying. I
but
get
like
that.
that same feel. I think it's the hair, obviously the 80s, But
Boy, I'll tell you, you're about to introduce the love of my life, apparently.
oh my God, Suze.
Suze.
Yeah, Susie.
I love this chick's style for the whole
Yes.
movie, except for
Her face is
this
amazing.
intro scene. She's wearing this like beautiful 80s top with football pads under the shirt. She looks like a
1989.
fucking linebacker. I understand shoulder pads in the 80s, but like under just a normal t-shirt.
Well, because you want that hard V. That was like
I do
angles,
like a hard
baby.
V, but not there.
So
I like a hard V right
I got
there.
all excited because I was like, "Oh, she's in Empire Records."
Yeah,
But she
lady
was
behind
just
the
like,
counter?
Yeah, woman at counter. Like, so she's not a character.
And it's actually listed as one of her top roles.
Yeah, it's the first thing.
Is a movie she didn't have a name for.
She's in another possible episode, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, which is an Andrew Dice Clay movie.
I put that on my watch list after doing this research.
Yeah.
Because you had me at Andrew Dice Clay on
Yeah.
the cover of a movie.
I saw another one. I found one. I was looking through somebody's like one of these companies, Arrow or somebody. I was looking through their like selections of films, and I was like, there's like this straight up like cop action film starring Andrew Dice Clay, and I can't remember what it was called, but I'm gonna find it, and we're probably gonna watch it. She was also in. You're gonna be interested in this.
Oh, no.
A series. It looks like I don't know what channel it would have been on, called Erotic Confessions.
Oh, I am interested.
It was on the Spice Channel.
Yeah. So you might be interested. It says 1995 to 1996. She played Claire, and then again it says 1996. She played Miss Maisie. So either way,
I think I saw that.
You could watch her. Oh, she was also in a show called Hotline. She was in Baywatch Nights. So a lot
Ooh,
of like
the dirty
softcore
one.
porn. Baywatch Nights, softcore porn, right?
Oh, yeah.
She was another character in that Beauty and the Beast fucking lawyer show.
The one with Sarah, Terminator Sarah?
Yeah, Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
It
Linda
keeps
Hamilton?
coming up.
Yeah.
Huh.
She's oh my God. No, this thing had like what, 3 to 5 seasons?
Yeah, I'd never heard of it. It came up on another episode.
I remember when it
And-
used to be a show.
Yeah, and she told me, she's like, yeah, I remember that show being on like ABC or whatever. And I was like, okay, so it must have been like 8 episodes and it got canceled. Because it's like a lawyer thing where this lawyer falls in love with a beast. It's a Beauty and the Beast, but like with law.
Okay.
I don't know.
We're talking like full on furry face makeup.
Sure.
Like,
Dude.
not implants, but
We saw it
prosthetics and
on-
everything.
We saw it on Peacock, I want to say,
Yes.
maybe. So it means it was on NBC. 3 fucking seasons in the 80s.
Wow.
For a lawyer drama with Beauty and the Beast mixed in.
And so you're going for like 22 episodes a season.
That's disgusting. The 80s suck sometimes.
I object, Your Honor. He is not human. I would have given good money to see the Terminator walk through this mall.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's another movie we'll do. It's called Chopping Mall.
Ooh.
Oh, this is the same set, by the way.
Is it?
Yep. I
This-
never heard of it, but on IMDb it said, by the way, a little trivia. It's the same
Okay,
set as
so
Chopping
it's
Mall.
also the same mall. It's the same mall that is in future episode for Schlock and Load Commando.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It's used for a lot of movies.
God, I wish I was
I'm
watching
so
Commando
jealous
right
I'm not
now.
going to be on that episode.
Why not?
Aw. Because it's a boys thing. It's the boys club. It's you, Jack.
Down with the patriarch.
It's you two and Ben, like the 3 of you. I'm just gonna sit right here in the corner and watch you guys with popcorn.
She's gonna be a voyeur.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of, real quick, just things that keep coming up on the show because Beauty and the Beast. Under Siege, we had Roger Podacter, right?
Yeah.
That guy plays Beryl on Bosch, who is the partner of Crate, the Crate and Beryl. That's
Bosch
their
is
nicknames.
Crate and Barrel. That's
Yes.
fucking funny.
That's what they're called.
Tall, skinny dude, shorter, husky dude, Crate and
Crate and
Beryl.
Barrel.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
All right.
You should watch. It's a good cop show.
It's coming up too much for me
It's
to watch.
fucking- only by us.
so anyway, this mall is open even though it's still under construction? Question mark. I don't know. And this is one of the 400 times I wrote in my notes. Eric creeps.
Eric creeps. Creepy as shit.
So he's creeping around these vents that are human-sized vents. Like they're doing the speech and everything. They introduce them all, and they show cut to him, and he's like, "These vents are massive."
I started researching how much it costs to rent a vent because I could live here.
There are times where people are fully standing up. Fucking whatever the guy's actor name is, the character Peter Baldwin who comes up here in a second.
Estes?
He is standing. Yes,
Estes.
Rob Estes of 100 episodes of
My
Melrose
roommate
Place.
walked in when I was watching this shit, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm watching some movie that's got almost nobody you would know." And she goes, "Oh shit, that's Rob Estes."
He was from,
I was like, "What are
he's
you
from
talking
Silk
about?" And she
Stockings.
said, "Silk stockings." I'm like, "All right." I thought he was a nobody that didn't know how to close his fucking mouth.
I saw him. I saw that he was on Melrose Place, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Yeah, that makes sense." Yeah, I see it.
Yep.
We're watching Melrose Place because I hate myself, but he's not in until like 96 or something.
Oh,
so
God,
it's like
so we
later.
gotta
Did
in
he
the
like
learn how to
halfway
close his
through.
mouth at that point?
I don't know. We haven't
Because
gotten
he
that far
spends
yet.
this movie mouth agape.
What about the creepy stare that we're about to get to? Hold
It's
on.
not a creepy stare. He's just dead-eyed.
He's
So-
just like,
He's dead-eyed.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about that right now. When they introduced Peter, he's the photographer for the press.
He's a reporter / photographer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's a reporter, does his own photography. Get
Look,
real.
this is the Midwood Gazette or whatever. They don't hire two people.
Oh yeah, we haven't figured out where we're at. I'm assuming we're in Michigan because the license plate's further on.
Okay, yeah, she said a license plate was Michigan license plate. I was curious if it was supposed to be Arizona because for some godforsaken reason, there's a scene where we flash back to Eric's house before it burns down, whatever.
Yeah.
And on the wall, he has pendants hanging up from both University of Arizona and Arizona State University.
Your lovely wife said maybe that's where he's like going to college.
Planning on
so
it.
all he cares about is going to school in Arizona.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
care which one.
They have the best gymnastics. Carrie Strug is there,
Ooh,
damn
I
it.
wonder.
Oh. You know what? The gymnastics
Ooh.
thing.
Boom.
I usually don't watch deleted scenes because I'm like, they're deleted for a reason.
Yeah.
I like alternate endings, but deleted scenes, whatever.
What about alternate beginnings?
Because that's what this was.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That would actually help a lot because there's a point in here where I'm like, I even commented to you, and he's training himself how to do all this stuff in this like weird sewer basement thing he lives in.
A dirt bottom sewer basement.
Yeah, I was like, how is he just training himself in like all this like stuff with the pole and this fighting stuff and whatever? Like, it makes sense now if he had gymnastics.
Yeah.
Like background.
Yes, tell us he's some sort of gymnast.
Yes. You know what? If you don't want to include the scene, great. Have her say he was going to college on a scholarship for gymnastics.
We were going to have it made. He was getting a scholarship for gymnasts.
Because this movie is only 91 minutes long, and you know what? It could have been 92, so you could say that sentence.
Well, that's why you always set your bomb 1 minute longer.
Oh God.
Yeah, we get introduced to Peter, and he's taking pictures of the opening of the mall, and he is just staring at
Like,
Melody this whole
creepy,
time.
wide. I don't say dead stare. He's just like.
Oh, it's not dead.
intense.
It's active.
Yeah.
He's like you.
I kind of wondered, like, maybe his like real name's Eric, and he's about to get revenge because this guy's got a killer look to him.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
the first time I saw this movie, because this is not the first time I've watched it, I was like, okay, so he's like the guy that burned the house down. He's the one who killed Eric, whatever. And now he's stalking his girlfriends because he killed Eric because he wants her. Turns
Makes
out it's
sense.
actually even worse than that.
How do I get to see that movie?
Well, you know what? I
You gotta
actually
make it.
this one's got the whole like subtext, quote unquote, about like the capitalism gone rampant and stuff like that because
Yeah.
it has, they burned down his house for the mall and stuff. So it's better, but still, we're all over the place. Who cares? So yeah, well, he's just staring at fucking Melody, and then like even when he goes up and he's like, "Can I take your picture?" He's like, he's as close to her face as my face is to this microphone, and his eyes are just wide open. He's just like, "Do you want to be in the newspaper?"
I just did a fat rail. Let me take your fucking picture.
I wish he was coked out. He's not. He's way too calm.
Yeah,
he's
his
just
eyes
a
are
creeper.
calm, just like
Yeah.
I don't have eyelids.
Is this after she applied for a job at like an only?
Yeah,
like,
so-
This is right after they got accepted.
okay, more malls need like dive bars. This is a dimly lit, long bar, seedy as shit, and I want to drink here.
My
Yeah,
favorite thing here,
1000%.
like a little writing issue here, surprise, is like, so she's at this interview and she's like, I understand if you want someone more qualified. And they're like, you start tomorrow. Here's some stuff. And she leaves. We have no idea what she applied for.
Yeah.
We go to the next shot where we meet Susie. There's a sign on the wall that says sales girl applications this way. And there's a line of girls waiting to go in there. So we know more about this tertiary character than we do about our main character.
Absolutely. She
We don't-
walks out of this
We don't even
interview-
know.
The bar is called Sleuths. It's blatantly put out as
Yeah,
it like
an
pans
hour
into
into the
it,
movie.
and it's a bar. No, when she's first.
I didn't notice
pans
it
into
right
Well,
then.
even if
I
they
did.
show that, it just says sleuths. What the fuck is that?
Oh, I put
They
it in
don't-
my notes what it is. It's a Casablanca style cantina, nightclub, dive bar, restaurant. This
In
thing is
a mall.
this thing is all over the place.
That's the thing is we see all that stuff eventually.
Yeah.
But like here it's just like, okay, when you first time you see her in there, she's wearing her little outfit, like her uniform, and she's got like a magnifying glass on, like as a brioche or a brioche,
A brioche. She's wearing bread on her fucking chest.
a brooch.
Brooch.
And like, whatever. But it looks like maybe it's a restaurant, maybe it's a library where people smoke because there's ashtrays on the tables.
It's
I don't
there are
know.
ashtrays everywhere in this fucking movie.
But yeah, eventually we see that it's a bar,
Yeah.
which is great.
Of all the gin joints in all the malls.
I remember, like, I think we talked about this before at now it's Park Place Mall, but at Park Mall back in the early 90s, there used to be a restaurant in it called Park Place, and you could smoke in there.
Yeah.
Well, you could smoke in anywhere until like 1994.
Even then, it was touch and go.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the only place
There was a smoking section.
the only place I ever remember there being no smoking when I was a kid. Like, and I have terrible memories of not terrible memories of my childhood. I don't remember my childhood.
My memory is terrible of
yes,
my
I don't
childhood.
remember.
You had a great childhood.
But yeah, I don't remember details about a lot of things. But the one thing I do remember is you couldn't smoke on planes.
Even though there were ashtrays.
I remember the smoking section at the airport that was just like a box that was constantly filled with smoke. You couldn't see humans inside of it.
I remember that. That was in
Yeah.
the late 90s.
That's all I. That was in the early 90s because that's when we used to fly.
The world's worst aquarium.
He's taking their picture. They're at the yogurt shop because this is also where we're introduced to Buzz, Pauly Shore, who's like, he's such a prankster, and he doesn't even do the voice, and I want to do it.
It's before Pauly Shore was
Yeah.
Pauly Shore.
Yeah,
Yeah. It
He was
when
just an
doesn't
actor
matter.
named
He
Pauly
was,
Shore.
he was trying to be a serious actor at this point.
I
He
wouldn't even
wasn't
say
trying-
serious. I just don't think he found
he was in
himself yet.
Phantom of the Mall. I don't think he was trying to be a serious actor. I
Hey,
mean, he
get
was,
you a paycheck.
You did not see these deleted scenes. By the way, spoiler alert, all deleted scenes except for the doorknob.
Oh,
or
the
lock.
lockpick. Yeah, throwaway.
All of them are Pauly Shore scenes where he's trying to be emotional.
Well, I guess I'm watching the deleted.
This
scenes.
movie's like 10 minutes longer if they add these scenes because of Pauly Shore, for the most part.
maybe
1,000.
maybe the editor just didn't like Pauly Shore.
Yeah.
That kid sold me some shitty weed, man. Fuck that kid. But yeah, he's working at the frozen yogurt shop, and he likes to be a prankster, and he puts like fake ears in the thing or whatever, which I guess comes back around.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're
what
like,
did you
that's-
call it?
I don't know. What was I saying?
The Phantom's
Revol-
flamethrower.
Flame-
Oh, Phantom's flamethrower. This ear is the Phantom's flamethrower.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to give one quick reference back just in case there are new people. It's Chekhov's gun. Look it up.
Yeah, Chekhov's gun is what the actual term is called.
It's a storytelling thing.
I couldn't remember what it was called, so I called it Chernobyl's something or other.
Yeah. I think you said...
Chernobyl's chainsaw.
No,
Yeah.
Chernobyl's chainsaw was on purpose after you...
Yeah, you said something. Chekhov's...
Chernobyl.
Hey, go back and listen to the old episodes and let us know.
So he takes a picture of them, whatever, and then in another scene we see Eric is in his creepy like Ninja Turtles lair,
Man cave.
and he's cutting off the part of the mannequin's head to make a mask. So it's like, okay, well at least I know now why he took this head. I was like, is he gonna fuck it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I thought he was just going insane like, I need company.
I'm gonna talk to it.
I need to talk to this head.
It's Wilson.
He thought he was Batman, and he was like, I'm gonna put my coat and my hat on this mannequin in my man cave, in my fucking Eric cave, when I'm not
My
fucking
fan cave.
whenever I'm not out there, and then that'll be where I keep it. You know?
Nobody pays for yogurt
No.
No.
in this movie.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, you see that it's just basically
It's-
powder with water added to it. I don't know what
It's
the fuck.
also directly next to a Swenson's.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're going out of business, pal.
Well, Swenson's is for when you want to go and sit down.
And watch a choo-choo train go around the...
Fucking Buzz's yogurt shop, whatever the fuck it's called, is for when you're just walking by. Plus, frozen yogurt is not ice cream. This is the 80s. Frozen yogurt's not going anywhere yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Mel is talking to Peter about what's going on, whatever, or about what happened.
He recognizes her.
I recognize you. Oh, that's right. I took pictures of you after the worst night of your life. How you been?
Details about this. Like, remember when I took pictures of you in that fire and people died? You remember? You remember?
You remember.
Yeah,
Come on.
and she goes hard left. She just freaks out. She's like, Eric died and no one cared. Bah! And like storms off.
No one
I'm
did
like-
an investigation.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah. And she like runs to her locker and he keeps following her because, you know, whatever.
Because it's creepy.
It's the 80s. No does not mean no yet.
Yeah. No, I mean, you know, Urkel taught us all, right?
Yep.
You just keep trying and eventually
Sam
it
Malone.
happens.
Sam Malone, man, persistent as can be.
But he wasn't creepy being persistent.
Oh, if you go back and watch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when a chick says no, it means no.
Yeah.
It does not mean push harder. Sorry, guy.
But it's just jokes, right? Sorry.
It's
okay.
just jokes.
So we're in the locker room.
Yeah, she goes to her locker, which I don't think is in a locker room. I feel like these lockers are just in the mall. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like a side hallway because you see people walking around the back.
This is true.
She opens her locker and there's some flowers in there and she like freaks out.
Orchids.
Yeah, some orchids. And she like she looks shocked and he's like,
Flashback.
what? They're just flowers. And then like we flash back to fucking, yeah, Eric giving her orchids. This is
Orgasms. It's pronounced
Yes.
orgasms.
orchidgasms. No, that's in a minute. So he just gives her the orchids and then it goes back and it's the exact same orchids.
Yeah.
Like
little
it's
bit.
Like
obviously
prop,
they're
you're
fake.
saying prop department wise,
They
it's the
cut-
same
Yeah.
orchids.
They just cut the stems off for this scene.
So they would fit in the locker. Because that thing he gives her with the orchids is like as tall as like a fourth grader.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good measurement, by the way.
I measure everything in children.
It's
I'm
a
actually
first grader
2 fourth
size.
graders tall myself.
I think you're a little more than that.
Okay, I'm
How
two
short
and a
are your
half.
fourth graders?
Oh, okay, maybe I'm thinking third graders.
How tall do you think I am?
Are you taller than a fourth grader?
Two of them.
You're taller than me.
How many? Dude, that's a new game on Fox. How many fourth graders are you taller than?
So Pauly Shore basically pulls this character Peter Baldwin, Rob Estes.
I wrote in my notes, fake fucking Baldwin.
Yes,
you're not cut for this family, pal.
I went opposite. I was like, he looks like he could be a
He's a
Baldwin.
fake Baldwin.
Yeah,
I
he
mean-
looks like he could be a Baldwin, like a Daniel Baldwin,
You know
not
what?
like a real Baldwin.
Yeah, like a Daniel Baldwin
Sir, you're not even Steven.
mixed with an Estevez.
How dare you?
Tell me he doesn't have Estevez eyes.
I mean,
Look
he could be like the mixture of Charlie Sheen and Daniel Baldwin.
No, the other brother.
Emilio.
He doesn't look like
Yes.
Emilio. He
He's
looks
got
more like
Emilio's
Charlie
eyes,
Sheen.
man.
They look like cocaine eyes, so I'm going Charlie Sheen.
Oh, I mean,
Got
heard.
those cocaine eyes. I spilled some powder between your thighs.
Oh man, the second you started, I knew where you were going. When you started, I spilled, and I was like, no.
I love you for that. Thank you. Make it happen, please.
So yeah, Pauly Shore basically tells him, lay off Mel. She's got a lot going on, man. And he's like, yeah, I know. That's why I'm trying to get in there and take
His line
advantage
was,
of.
hey, let her tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I know she's emotionally distraught, and I'm trying to take advantage of the situation. So why don't you back off?
80s, bitch.
Now we're about to come to like a solid fucking kill, I think.
Yeah.
The second kill?
Yeah, there's a maintenance guy. Like Eric is just creeping through these giant vents.
He's
and he-
somersaulting, he's cartwheeling.
Which, also, this kill has no plot feel to it at all. Like,
Well, it's just like the first one, the security guard. It's just he's just killing people who are involved in the mall because he's like, fuck them, I don't care. They work for the
Okay.
mall.
Oh, he's going full Clint Eastwood, like, get off my lawn.
Like later on,
the mall is his lawn.
Later on, they start
Literally.
they start trying to hint at that like a lot of his kills are related to people who are fucking with Melody or Mel.
Yeah.
But he also just randomly kills anybody who's near him. This guy though doesn't even see him. Like the security guard saw him, whatever. This guy doesn't even see him. This
you
guy's
could've
just working
shadowed-
on his vent.
You
Yeah.
could have avoided him.
But it's cool that he didn't, because he takes this dude's head and just shoves it into this spinning fan blade.
You know what I wanted from this? I wanted like meat or vegetable slicer effect,
Yes.
where slices of this dude's face are coming off like cucumber.
At least we got blood, because like,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
one of the best kills in the entire Leprechaun series is a face and some blades. It's like a lawnmower thing, and Leprechaun makes it look like it's this girl taking off her shirt because he can do illusions or whatever, and this kid just puts his face in her tits because that's what you do, but it's spinning lawnmower blades, but it's just like this kid leaning toward a lawnmower, and then we cut to like an outside shot of this garage and you hear
And that's the best kill.
yeah, and that's
That
like, I mean,
sucks.
one of the more creative, like fun ones, but
Yeah.
there's no blood, there's no, at least in this he shoves his face in there and there's blood
Yeah,
spraying
you
out.
say fun. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, we meet Posner's kid. His name is Justin.
Who's supposedly a teenager.
Yeah. This fucking
She's
dude.
saying he's 30. I looked it up. He's 24. So he's
But
more
he's
of a
playing-
teenager than half the kids on
He's got a
90210.
5 o'clock shadow, though.
But I think he's supposed to be playing like some 16, 17-year-old punk.
Well, yeah, but I mean 90210. Fucking Dylan was already like 31 and he was supposed to be 17. Like,
See the movie Clueless. Not a teenager
Shut up
in
about
that
Paul
movie.
Rudd. I love
No,
that
nobody
national
else. Even
treasure.
even D. She's like
Paul Rudd-
late 20s when she films that.
Alicia Silverstone, I think. No,
Early
Donald
20s.
Faison was the youngest actor on that show because he
Yeah.
even still had braces.
But I will say
dolphin teeth.
Paul Rudd is still the closest to being a teenager because right now he could still play a teenager.
He really,
Oh, I will watch a Paul Rudd in high school movie right now.
oh my God, Paul Rudd, please visit us.
Yeah, just in life.
So this kid who's playing Justin, I thought I recognized him. He's just like an 80s punk kid, whatever.
found him in one
He's,
thing.
He was one of the Cobra Kai kids in the
He's
first
the
Karate
kid
Kid.
that John Kreese throws to the mat.
Yeah.
Like
Ooh.
and just slams him down just to show I'm a good teacher by beating you up.
The first time I watched this, I was obsessed with finding out. I was like, I know who he is, and all I saw was Karate Kid that I recognized really. So I was like Googling it, looking for it, and there's like a shot when they're they're all hanging out by the beach or by the fucking boardwalk or whatever
Yeah.
the fuck. Right when they start beating up on LaRusso, he's like the one that's standing right behind. He's like the main like best friend of Johnny Lawrence. Not that
Gotcha.
means anything.
I wonder if he's in the Cobra Kai scene that they brought back.
Oh, doubtful.
I did not see him on the Cobra Kai credits. Like, or I didn't see see that in his credits.
What I was calling him was, okay, you know the movie Grandma's Boy?
Yep.
One of Adam Sandler's best friends.
Alan Covert.
The main character.
Alan Covert, yeah.
I was like, he's not Alan.
He's not Alan.
Yeah, she was like, are his credits? Is he in Grandma's Boy? And I was
Because
like,
he's got like this part right here, like the eyes and nose.
Yeah, this part right
'cause
here.
You can
This part.
see
This
right
part.
here.
You all see that.
This triangle from the eyes to the nose, like, and even the mouth, really, just so this oval. Like,
So, I mean, he kind of looks like when Alan Covert was playing the homeless guy in Happy Gilmore.
Yes, minus the beard.
When he creeps up on the maintenance guy, I did take a note, and this is the first time that we see that his face is fucked up.
Yes, it does.
It's like we saw him make a mask and put it on, but they never showed it. This is the first time you get like a flash of like his melty face,
Yeah.
his like sloth thing he's got
not
going on.
terrible, especially for the 80s.
From the front, it's not terrible.
No, yeah, the back
Right.
looks like shit when you see the back of his head, but it's because obviously like they wanted to put the makeup over his hair, so it's just like this floppy dead flesh.
maybe they were going for a floppy dead flesh because it was a burnt fucking face.
So we get the mall security guards now.
Pervert Tim Robbins.
Yeah, we have pervert Tim
God,
Robbins.
yes.
And then, the great Ken Foree, who's the African American security guard.
Oh, I didn't know this guy.
He's in Dawn of the Dead. He's in a bunch of like old horror
he's one of
movies.
that guy.
He's the
Gotcha.
in the reboot of Dawn of the Dead, the Zack Snyder one. He played the preacher that's on TV talking about how the dead will rise. Like
Okay.
when hell is full, the dead will rise or whatever. But he was in the original Dawn of the Dead also. He's in a bunch of stuff.
And now we get to my favorite part of most movies: NERPs.
Yeah.
Oh my God, and we
But
are
this
not
guy
disappointed.
this guy makes the NERPs bad. So,
does.
first we have a shot in the changing room, and the girls are just taking off their tops and flapping their titties around.
Oh,
I guess
yeah.
that's what happens in changing
No
rooms.
one's closing
right?
these curtains personally. Like,
No.
Literally no one.
Then we go to the security room, and he's just watching them, and he is so fucking creepy.
you want to know how to be creepier than just watching somebody narrating
Voicing
to
it.
yourself?
Yes.
Like, oh yeah, now do this, now
Yeah.
do that. I like how you get
No, don't just drop it on the floor. Bend over and pick it up.
sweaty pervert.
You know he's fapping.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like Ken Foree tells him to turn it off right before. Oh, he wants to see Susie's tits.
Yeah, he does. Who doesn't?
And then she steps into the thing. He's like, "No, don't go in there. I thought we were gonna have a show."
Oh, he was pissed.
Ugh.
And then Poser walks in, or Posner.
Posner,
Whatever,
Posner.
works.
because he wants to check out this
Yeah.
this banging sound in the vents. That's homeboy fucking jacking off.
Yeah.
I'll
Also-
tell you what that knocking in the vents is.
Also, if you hear a knocking in the vents, you know who you don't go to tell to check it out? The security guards. You go to the maintenance guy,
Yeah.
who's now dead.
Oh, you can't call him? That's weird.
By the way, they do mention the old man security guard getting killed later in the movie. No one ever mentions the maintenance guy.
I think that's
true.
who they're talking about.
No.
Because Ken Foree says, like, what about Vern or whatever the fuck his name was, the night security guard?
So after this
Oh.
kill, he says, "What happened to the guy that you told to go check out the bump? Oh, I fired him, and he's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Also, what about the guy that was the first kill?" And he goes, "Oh, he must have got a new job or something. Yeah, he got a new job."
yeah,
Yeah.
because he starts with another security guard. What? I mean, he's a security guard somewhere else.
Yeah, he got a job. See, nothing to see here.
So this creepy pervert, you're really happy that he dies.
Oh yeah.
Because like he's going to check the stuff out, and he walks past our two main characters, and he's like yanking his like key thing, and he's like, "Hey girls, want to pull my chain?" Whatever. And Erica's watching this, and this is when Eric's like, "Well, this guy's gonna die."
You're fucked.
Yep.
You
made
just
Oh, go ahead.
you just assaulted my fucking girlfriend.
Did you just make a jack off joke to my girl that doesn't know I'm alive?
Oh,
Give your
Or her
balls a
friend,
tug.
because he
You're
also
gonna have a
does
dirty
attack
death.
someone later for bothering her friend too.
Long con. He wants a threesome with these two chicks.
Who doesn't?
yes,
Fair.
please.
Fair.
I have to mention it because it's another Phantom's flamethrower moment, but we get this Italian piano player just
Yeah.
hanging out in the middle of this mall for some reason.
As they walk by, he's like, "Ladies."
Yeah, ladies, have
Looks
a great
like
day.
Vincent Price, kind of.
Yeah, he's like a bad, like if someone was playing Vincent Price in a movie with this budget.
Yep. You couldn't afford
Not Vincent Price.
You couldn't afford Jeffrey Rush to play Vincent Price, so you got this fucking guy.
So Eric does the thing he does a few times where he like lures this guard by knocking on the vents and then running away. He's like,
It's another leprechaun
He's
feel.
such a rascal. He's such a rascal, this guy.
So he gets the security guard comes into this room. He goes through the vents and then comes out into like a storage room. Eric drives this fucking forklift into this dude, into an electric like junction box, and there's like shocks and explosions of electricity everywhere. No lights in this building go out.
Yeah, I wondered, do I know how electricity works?
No,
Because this is not how I thought this would go.
But also, it is still a fantastic kill.
it's great.
Great
Because he
kill.
electrocutes this guy until his eyes pop out of his fucking head.
Oh.
And one of them lands in this box of powder that's sitting
Opened
open.
box.
Which is for the frozen yogurt place. It says it has the name of the. I don't know what it was, but it has the name on the side of the box.
Yogurt.
But why is it just sitting open? Like that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because people are lazy.
We know this mall has rats. We'll see them.
We've all worked at a grocery. Well, not you at a grocery store, but restaurants.
People
and
are gross.
Yeah, but we
don't
were
close
pretty
things.
clean. We didn't leave open boxes around eyeballs.
You never worked with someone who was an asshole and left open boxes around eyeballs?
No, never.
I mean, the good
Not
employees
one.
didn't, but
Yeah,
I can't
we
tell you
had
how many times I
slackers.
walk into rooms and I'm like, guys, what the fuck? You can't just
Close it
leave
up.
this bag of stuff open. Like,
Date it.
That's how you get eyeballs.
yeah, that's you want eyeballs?
That's how you get them.
So Morgan Fairchild is talking to Posner and telling him how she wants to support him for city council or whatever. So you're like, okay, they have some
I
kind
want to
of
support
like
you
dealings.
like straw supports me. Just kidding. Those things don't hang. Plastic as can be.
Yeah, like don't have. There's no such thing as gravity in her world.
Jealous.
Well, it cost her a lot of money. to
Yeah,
get
don't
that
be.
way.
They don't look good.
And as soon as she leaves, though, this guard's body drops out of the ceiling onto Posner's desk with like one eye still popped out, and it looks like there's a note stuck to it, but they never read it and we never hear about it again.
No, we see a note. It
It
says an
shows
eye
it-
for an eye.
Yeah.
Oh, did it? Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
But I'll tell you what,
must
this is
have-
the calmest person that's ever had a body dropped on their fucking desk.
Yeah.
Like he's like, oh.
Well,
What?
because he knows. He thinks he knows. He's like, oh shit. This is because of this. This is how we learn that he's behind.
No, I don't
it.
think he knows yet. I think he just sees this body and he's like, someone's killing this security guard. Well, then he finds out there's the other security guard's gone in just a second here. And then he calls Volker or whatever his
Yeah.
name is, Crate, and he's like, this is Posner. I might need you again. But they show him burning the security guard's body. So I think he just called him because he's like, oh, you're the guy I know that does like dirty
Oh, this
work.
guy has a particular set of skill.
Yeah.
And it's burning.
It's burning.
Because he's not good at, like, I don't want to know if I'm good at trying to, like, take a woman hostage, but I know he's not.
No. He's also, I mean, he's an okay driver.
Sure.
I mean,
He does okay in that chase scene.
Yeah, he does okay.
Until he doesn't.
Because the guy he's chasing is not very good at driving at all.
And in a station
In
wagon.
a station wagon.
Running from a fucking jet ski in a boat. Like,
and like,
But I feel like even if you knew the whole plot of, like, why this guy's killing your people, you'd still give it, like, a little, at something falling, a body falling on your desk from the air vents.
Yeah.
oh, but he
Yeah.
was really like,
He just looked and was like,
yeah, mildly
"Oh."
startled and then like gross. Oh great!
Worst-
I gotta hire someone else.
Worst Viking funeral ever.
so
You know,
that would be Derek's response. Be like, ugh, gross.
Drop on the body drops. I'm like, you know how much it costs to process new hire paperwork?
Burn him.
So Mel and Susie are going to their cars, parked in totally different parts of the parking lot, leaving each other alone at night. Which is
She's
a
got to
terrible
walk
idea.
to Timbuktu.
She gets in her car. I don't understand why she gets back out. Whatever. She gets in her
It
car.
wouldn't
Oh, it
Start.
won't
She
start.
finds-
It won't start.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
There's
there's
a
a gift box
a
in the
dress.
car, and it's the dress that she was looking at earlier, and she wanted. So Eric is just following her and doing nice stuff for her. And yeah, that's right. Her car won't start, so she gets out, and then this like masked man assails her, and he's trying to rape her in the parking lot. And Eric conveniently has a crossbow with him. Like
Yeah.
he's like, I'm gonna follow her to the parking lot with this
Chernobyl's
crossbow.
gun. I said it. Oh fuck! I still fucked it
Yep,
up.
it's still wrong.
That was so proud, too.
I think I called it Gorbachev's gun once.
Yes, I
also.
think that's what you said the first time. Was like whatever Russian guy. I'll never get Chekhov wrong, but that's because Star Trek. So
Yeah.
that's.
Where are the nuclear whistles?
But yeah, just as a callback.
But yeah, like, why is he like? He's like, well, I'm gonna follow her to the parking lot, make sure she's safe. I'll just
This-
bring this crossbow just in case.
This
Like,
dude
Silence.
jogs off
Who's
the
he?
crossbow, by the way. Like, he gets hit with a crossbow, and
it's like right here.
it looks like it's pectoral. Yeah, point to it.
It's
Right
It
here.
looks like it's
It's-
pectoral, like maybe a little off from the
Rotator.
heart.
It's the rotator.
And he just gets up and just jogs it off.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, man, I'm not jogging
also,
off a bolt.
so we'll just cover this little like D plot, F plot, whatever. This little short thing, real quick, so we can just get to it. Because Fairchild is telling Ken Foree about how Mel got assaulted in the parking lot, and the guy got shot with a crossbow, and he had a limp. So she's like, so look for someone who's limping and their arms fucked up.
Oh, because
while they're walking past the piano player, who then is like, okay, guys, well, I'm gonna go take my break now. And it goes into the bathroom and takes off his fucking tuxedo jacket, and he's just bleeding profusely.
Like he didn't bandage it one bit.
No, like, how much blood? You're dying. You're
I'll tell you
dying.
right now.
This has been at least 24 hours.
You're
like,
a mall piano player for a living. You're probably drunk. This guy's like just bleeding like a alcoholic.
when he
stuck
woke
pig.
up in the morning, he had it patched up, and he's like, okay, that's good. But he's just getting hammered throughout the day, and his blood is just thinning.
Leaking through it.
You know the giant like brandy glass they use for a tip jar? Well, he comes to work with that full, and he has to drink it before he can go on
time for
finger
tips.
quote stage.
So he goes into the bathroom, the employee bathroom, gets blood all over it. I'm like, this is a brand new building. Stop being an asshole. Takes off his jacket, and he's like poking it. He's like, oh, that hurts. Well, I'm gonna take a shit.
It's tender.
So he goes into the stall, and you're thinking, oh, he's gonna go in there to wrap it up. Nope, he just drops his pants to take a shit, and he's sitting there. I don't know. They show him just kind of. I guess it's before cell phones, so you took a shit. You just kind of stared
ahead.
Yeah, because you didn't always have a newspaper with you or
No.
a shampoo bottle.
I mean,
That was my
should have
thing in the
brought
90s.
one, but
Well, at least use your blood to make a painting on the stall.
or you
Well,
know,
he just said
take
don't be
some,
an asshole.
or take some fucking paper towels while you're sitting in there and try to
Oh.
dab it up a little bit.
I'm
Like,
sorry. Did you say don't be an asshole to the guy who was trying to rape a chick in the parking lot?
This is
him
true.
writing like racial slurs on the wall in blood is the least of his concerns.
dude, his John Waters mustache tells you that he's an asshole.
This is 1,000%.
they let you know. They let you know.
So yeah, he's sitting there taking a shit, and Eric is like, well, fuck this guy. And you see him, and he's got this bag that's like moving around and
Hissing.
stuff. And he dumps this, whatever it is, it's a snake, into like...
I was like,
I
is
don't-
it a mongoose?
I don't think this is how plumbing works. But he just like takes the cap off of this pipe and dumps the snake into it. And then the cobra comes up out of the toilet, the exact right toilet, by the way.
Yep.
And he comes up out of the toilet, and like the lights go out.
This
and the
cobra
guy,
smells dick.
by the way, this guy lights that lighter so fast.
So fucking fast.
It's like he was just sitting there with a lighter in his hand. He's like, oh, when I fart, I'm going to light it. I'm waiting. Like, so he's just sitting there, and this cobra comes up, like the lights are off. He puts on the lighter. The cobra comes out of the toilet and just stares at him, and he's like, Sacre bleu. I don't know.
Oh, he said, suck me blue.
And then it does.
And then it does.
Yeah, this
Sucked until he turned blue from
snake
death.
went right onto his dick.
Yeah,
Worst
I wrote
blowjob
down.
ever.
I wrote down worst death ever. Like fucking kill me, dude. Like because he's gonna die from poisoning,
Well,
from dick poisoning.
With an erection.
to what Whitney said, worst blowjob ever, and what you said, worst death ever. I think these go in the same category. If your
Yeah.
death involves a blowjob, it's both of those things.
Yeah.
Unless
Well, I don't know.
unless the death is that the blowjob was so good you have a heart attack.
There we go.
That's great. But if it involves a snake sinking its fangs into your dong and sucking all of your blood out or whatever it does, I don't think
Yeah.
they're vampires, but I don't this guy
think
dies.
you know how snakes work.
I feel like it's a paralytic.
And we presume this guy dies. I don't know if they ever actually show a dead body, but he gets bit in the dick, which is great.
I think he's in the basement. We'll get there. But he's dead.
Oh, yeah, he's dead.
fucking-
There's
because
a body.
I'll tell you right now, if he didn't die from that, he went home and killed himself.
100%.
Because he's got a cobra venom dick bite. That's real.
So just get that out of the way. That's another great kill. It's later in the movie, but it just cover it all at once. Make it
Yes.
easier. So that's when Posner makes the phone call, and we see this guy. We didn't know his name at first, so I wrote, quote, badass earring guy.
Yep.
Because he's got the slick back greasy hair. He's got the very thin like beard that's more than 5 o'clock shadow. It's intentionally there.
Yeah.
I don't know. He looks like a fucking
He's a
greaseball,
sleazeball
sleazy.
hitman.
Yeah, exactly.
Sleazeball hitman from 80s movies.
He's got the aviators, but he's got this huge dangly fucking earring.
We're
almost-
talking like George Michael.
Yes,
George Michael look.
he is very Wham-esque.
They did say it's something religious, so I'm
Yeah.
imagining like some Christian saint, like
Yeah.
a pendant dangling
She
from
mentions
his
that
ear.
that when she saw the guy at the fire the previous year, that she saw a religious medal
religious
on him.
symbol.
Yeah, I'm like, first of all, you barely saw him. Second of all, I watched this entire movie on Blu-ray and still didn't see a religious symbol. I just see a dangly earring.
So we actually jumped around a little bit because this death is happening after the reporter guy thinks that he sees, what's his name, Volker?
yeah, well, I did jump ahead for the piano
For the
man's
piano
death.
man,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, just because I was like, it's a short little thing. It relates to what we're talking about, the rape scene. So I just jumped ahead to that. And
Yeah,
Okay.
we're still at the rape scene, so we haven't gone to Volker yet.
yeah.
Okay.
So this is our first introduction to Volker. He's just burning the guard's body and looking at the fire like a cool guy.
Got a smell.
We have the first of 2 sex dreams that Mel has here. And by the way, she wakes up from this dream just sweating, but she's wearing this like silk nightgown,
Drenched.
fucking 18 blankets on top of her. This fucking comforter is so thick. I'm like, no wonder you're sweating.
She's in flannel, full-on sleeves and everything. In the
Crack a
fantasy,
window.
she's wearing
Oh, that's right.
no,
it's
but
disgusting.
she's like full-on button-up, long-sleeve flannel husband from the 50s pajamas.
Oh yeah.
So she's banging Eric in this dream. They pull off her top. We get some nerps, but she's a Playboy model, so she doesn't care.
Oh,
That's
she
her-
doesn't give a shit about nerves. She'll show you bush if she wants.
She's like, I've nerped it before.
I love how you phrase that.
You can nerp if you want to. You can leave your nerps
You
behind.
can leave your bra behind.
But if your friends don't nerp,
If your friends don't nerp, they're no friends of mine.
So it's intercut. It starts getting intercut with like the house burning and like Eric catching on fire and his face melting. And she has like a flash of Volker real quick, and then she wakes up all sweaty and gross. And then we get the first of 2 or 3. I think it's the first of like the 3 like training montages of Eric. Like he's punching a punching bag and kicking
Crushing
and stuff.
10-pound weights.
Yeah, just curling those 10-pounders.
he's got the stick and he's like, wah,
You're the best around.
Yes, exactly.
Nothing ever gonna keep you down.
he's twirling around. He's being all like, I'm a ninja. I'm a ninja.
Because gymnast equals ninja.
Yeah.
Duh.
Duh.
Go to the mall now, and Ken Furry is going over the list of missing items, like things that have been stolen with Posner, and it's just like crossbow used. No, it's like just 1 crossbow, TV, a VCR, 2 cameras,
Treadmill?
like, the treadmill,
Treadmill?
a Nordic Track treadmill.
Nordic Track.
Ooh.
Hey, name drops.
Does
Placement.
he even say the dress at this point?
I don't think he says the dress. He's basically listing off all the things that we see in fucking Eric's fucking turtle cave there. Like,
Was a living room furniture part of that?
he did not mention an entire living room set.
That's a
Then
sewer
I'm-
couch.
Then I'm wondering if he brought that down when it, like, again, deleted scene, when it was his man cave.
His special
Okay.
place.
Slight digression, but very related. Real life story. I saw this on the internet.
Better not be about a sewer couch.
It's not about a sewer couch. It's about someone secretly living in a mall, and it's awesome.
Ooh.
So I don't remember where this mall was, but basically they had like built this mall, and there was like this part where it like curved because there was like whatever like a joint part of the mall where it goes to like an L shape, and there's this corner where they had built. There's this big open space. And there's like a door in there that goes to a storage area that no one was using because they never built stairs to the storage area. So it's just this empty storage thing. Some guy found it. This is a real story. I saw the pictures of the place. Some guy found this little like it's like an outdoor part of the mall. There's like a little alcove thing that you could barely slide into. And then there's this door 20 feet up. So he gets a ladder and takes it in there, goes into the door, big storage space. So him and friends moved like furniture, televisions, like all kinds of stuff in there. And he
Wow.
lived in this mall secretly for like a year.
That's great.
Or maybe more. I don't remember how long it was. It was but
I'm
it was an
looking this
extended
up.
time.
Like extension cords?
Yeah, like he was running power from inside the mall. I think that's how he ended up getting caught.
We're drawing a bunch of power to this Nordic track.
It was insane. Like I read that and I thought about it yesterday when I was telling someone about this movie. I think I was telling Brandon, but I thought about it yesterday and I was like, holy shit, that guy was Eric. Like this guy was like, hey, fuck it, man. I lived there for free for a long time. Like he didn't get arrested or anything. They were just like, hey, you can't be here. And they like boarded it up.
I'm sorry, I didn't know I couldn't do that.
You're
Like, I
not
don't know.
using
You
it.
were-
Why
yeah,
can't
exactly. You were using it. What the fuck, man?
I'm a freegan.
I didn't see a sign that said keep out.
Heard.
Like later in this movie, where there's a sign that says, no, it was earlier. There's a sign that says keep out, and he just opens it because there's no lock.
But I thought for a second he wasn't going to because he paused
He
for a
does.
second. Like, oh shit,
Yeah.
it says keep out.
Yeah,
I can't. My hands are tied.
Yeah, for a second I thought he was going to go, well, it says authorized personnel. I can't go in there. That's maintenance.
I don't have a note.
That is not my union. I can't enter that area. So Posner sees his son, who's just running around terrorizing the mall, who really doesn't come to anything other than another good kill.
Good kill.
But this kid is just, he sees him and he's like, how many times have I told you? And the kid goes, a bunch of times or whatever. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, and he opens the soda in his dad's face and just sprays soda all over him.
I think he was like, stop taking free samples.
Is that what it was? Because they're talking about
mentioned he shoplifted. Like, there's all the storefronts are
well, and he just got done stealing a bunch of quarters. Nobody saw that.
Yeah.
But he's like in the arcade pretending to play pinball, which, by the way, there's no ding, 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 so we know you're not playing. You can't just slap the machine.
There was a ball. He did play one game because you do see the ball.
Oh, did he? Okay. And then he like jams a screwdriver into it and opens it and just takes all these quarters. And I'm like, the desk is right there. Like, you can see the people who work here. You guys didn't hear that?
Also, I have a qualm with the writing of this movie, I guess, and here's part of it. There are cameras all over this mall. I mean, we're talking dressing rooms.
Yep.
We have cameras pointed at air vents. No one has seen this Phantom. Not once. Like, I mean, we're talking about a full surveillance thing. By the way, the company that did the surveillance, there's a little sign, Acme Surveillance Company.
Well, that makes a lot of sense
Love
then.
it.
I mean, I guess he does most of his like creeping into like outside of the vents, like into the mall.
He
at
drops
night.
into the Rug house. He drops into the sporting goods place. Like, he does pop into
But he
stuff.
does that stuff at night, and you see the security room, and it's got like a reel to reel kind of like tape recorder thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's
They turn it
recording,
off.
and then it probably records. But if there was no event overnight, they just rewind and record again.
I guess that makes sense.
So
Okay.
I mean, maybe that's what they're doing. They're just like most even modern security.
I'm just
systems,
shocked. They're
just-
listing off all these things missing, and it's like, let's record those places.
Yeah, I mean, I
We
feel like
have the cameras.
if you notice it missing that day, you go, "Hey, let's not record over that and watch it." But I don't know. Also, I'm thinking about things.
Yeah. Yes. This is my
Also,
problem.
We do notice that he has his own recordings, and like maybe he's taking.
Yeah, so that's what's coming up right now. He's watching this tape that's labeled Melody, and it's all this footage of her.
Best remote ever.
And great fucking
Did you
remote.
ever want to know what time it was when you were winding your movie? Because this fucking has a clock on it.
Yes, it does.
But there's a part in this video where he's like is watching this footage of her, and it's just him walking behind her with a video camera outside. He's not 10 feet behind her. I was
Yeah.
like, what? No
How did
wonder
you
she
not-
almost got raped. Like, she's not
She's
paying
really
attention.
bad at situational awareness.
Except not when she almost got raped, because she kept looking back and nobody was there, and looked back, nobody was there, and then, oh my god, somebody's there.
I think he was the other direction. She didn't. She's
Probably.
like,
She
I
heard
can only
something.
look behind me.
She heard something, but it was Eric, so he was actually distracting her, and then. Yeah, so Pauly Shore here takes Peter Baldwin to the security zone. And this has nothing to do with it other than showing that Pauly Shore knows about the security room. But it does have a kind of cool little, like, They Live thing where he's, like, playing the music for him.
Why do I give a shit about
Yeah.
this music?
And he shuts off the music part, and it's got this subliminal message thing underneath that's just
you
like,
love to shop.
The salespeople are your friends.
I can buy anything on a credit card.
You want to spend your money.
Yeah, capitalism rocks.
Consume.
Exactly. Consume, obey. Take off the fucking glasses.
It's fun. It doesn't amount to a fucking thing
No.
in this movie.
Except that now we know that Polly knows where.
the security room.
security
is.
room
And he knows
is.
how to get into it. And he knows how to work the equipment. Also,
Exactly.
it's one of those things they threw in, kind of like the reason they burned down the house was to build the mall. It's another thing about like where they're trying to give this movie. One of the three writers was trying to give this movie some kind of subtext.
Ooh, three
Some
writers. We know how that
sustenance.
goes.
I mean, usually you get two. There's a lot of times you get teams. I don't know who the third one, like the main, the third guy was, if he came in and did rewrites. I know one of the writers quit because I watched part of this behind the scenes thing, but then Whitney got home and we watched the movie. He was like, I thought we were making a fucking horror movie and this was a fucking joke, so I left. Like,
Yeah.
he's like-
Yeah.
But if somebody's trying to put a subtext there of like, the evils of rampant capitalism, the 80s Reaganomics commentary. I mean, it's 1989. This was a big thing in movies. So they're trying to do something.
Yeah.
But also they're showing nipples and murder to
Nerds
sell a
and
movie.
merds.
It's the 80s. You have to have nipples in your murder scene.
Well, it's just great when
not in the
movies
murder
try to
scene.
do that because they're like, consumerism is bad. Please buy a ticket to our movie.
You don't get to throw stones, pal.
When we do get, while they're watching the security footage, we see that Ken Foree is training a new security guard, and we can see that it's creepy guy, Volker.
Volker.
Oh,
So that's
yeah.
kind of how we're introduced to the fact that he was hired. Then Peter Baldwin sees him and he's like, Peter sees him.
Peter Baldwin.
I wrote Baldwin in my notes until I learned his first name, which took a while. But Peter sees him, like sees Volker, and he's like, where is he? And that's when Pauly Shore's like, he's at Sam Goody's. And I'm like, Sam Goody's?
Fuck yeah, Sam Goody's.
Oh man, I miss paying $24 for CDs that I could get at other places for $16.
Freaking, what do they call him? The mall cops. He sees this mall cop and he goes,
Rent-A-Cop.
to Mandy, this must be the guy you're talking about. He's got the same dangly earrings.
Yeah.
This is fucking 1980s.
No, that's the note I have is like, Baldwin sees earring, instinctively knows it's the arsonist.
Yeah, I have like sarcastically, dangly earring in the 80s? Must be the murderer.
Yeah, like I don't, and you know, he's looking at him on this security footage, which is much better than security footage would have been anywhere in 1889. And I'm like, you could see that this is a white male.
Yeah.
That's probably about as much as you could see on that security footage.
Oh my god, this picture is horrendous. It's because I even made a comment.
That's what we're getting to when he's taking the picture of him. But yeah,
he like does this zooming thing without even looking in the camera.
Into a mirror.
Yeah, so Baldwin's trying to get a picture of Volker. That's like, we just establish that real quick.
Yeah.
Like he's in the same music store. He's right across from him, and he's like, yeah, he's using one of those.
The fisheye security mirror.
The security mirrors, and he's like you said, he's trying to focus. He's like turning the aperture and like doing whatever.
You have no idea what you're doing if you're not looking down that thing.
Exactly. Like the fuck. You can't go from like, oh well, it's about like this, so let's. So it's the fuzziest picture in the world.
Yeah, when he gets the picture later, it looks like what security footage would look like.
He would have been better off taking a picture of the security screen.
Yes.
Like, there he is. Click.
Exactly. The guy still sees him trying to take the picture and chases him, so he should have just been like,
but he gave
snap right in his face.
But he gave a casual whistle walk away.
Yeah.
He gave a cartoon whistle walk away.
'Cause you're gonna
How
do
did
the-
he know it was him?
Well,
to the security guard, like you're not shoplifting.
you know the best way to avoid anybody suspecting you of anything is to walk away doing that whistle.
Yep. That's how you look. Oh, natch.
Everybody knows from everything that's ever been recorded on film that means that you didn't do anything.
But I'm glad he does give chase, because then we get to see Spider Cop.
Yes.
Oh yeah, dude, he's chasing him around. Yeah, he's chasing him into the elevator, and he like closes it and starts going up.
Come on.
Jumps and lands on top of this elevator, and then leans over the side and roars. Like it's one of those glass elevators that's in the middle of the mall, and it goes up, and you can see the whole thing. So he's just on top of it, and just
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. I'm here for it.
And then
1,000%.
when Peter kind of gets away from him and then stops running because he doesn't see the guy. Which,
Yeah.
Horror movie 101, don't stop running.
So it didn't happen, but he kept staring up the stairs, walking backwards slowly, and I kept thinking, he's right behind me, isn't he? I was waiting for one of those moments, but it didn't come to
But
fruition.
the next best thing.
But this goes along with his roar. This guy, Volker, comes up from like the top level of the mall and looks down at Peter when he's at the top of the stairs and just goes, apparently he said, hey, but all I heard was,
And then Peter falls backwards down the stairs.
Yeah, he uses his fucking psychic powers to shove Peter, like, and he just tumbles down the stairs.
What's that Drew Barrymore Firestar? Is it Firestarter?
Firestarter.
Yeah. Oh, he's a pyrokinetic himself, or whatever it's called.
No, he's a telekinetic that's also a pyro.
Oh, I misunderstood his part.
Yes.
Sorry. I can't start fires with my mind. I read people's minds. I light them on fire.
Yes.
Boring movie.
So this scene has no place in here other than to like pay off the eyeball thing from 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
But like Pauly Shore gives so the girls got their picture in the paper and they're all
Front
happy about
page,
it.
bitch.
Yeah. And Pauly Shore is like, this is for the pretty girl that got on or he says the incredibly buxom young woman. And I'm like, well, I mean, she's gorgeous.
Maybe her shoulder pads fell to her chest at this point.
I was say I wouldn't call her incredibly buxom.
No.
For her body, I mean, they're
I'll tell you what,
decent.
man. She made me miss looking at that upside down triangle logo of Guess jeans on girls' butts. She has it a couple times, and I'm like, yeah, that was a big thing. Let's get back to it.
Draw your attention.
Let's get back to it.
So
you
somehow
have my attention with a butt.
The great part of this is like this is frozen yogurt, so it comes out of like a dispenser, like soft serve. Mm-hmm. So somehow he pours this ice cream from the dispenser. An entire eyeball comes out of this thing that's like a whipped cream canister size,
Without him knowing.
without him noticing. And then he gives it to her, and she walks away, and she sees the eyeball in her fucking frozen yogurt, and she's like, "Oh, Buzz, whatever," and like throws it away. And there's still blood all over the yogurt, and she's just like, "Meow, meow," because
A
of the
little
ear.
irony.
I'm gagging at this. Like, fuck, you're not eating blood, not noticing.
Why am I tasting pennies?
Also,
Fucking know what blood tastes like.
have you seen
It's
the
like
movie
iron.
Dead Alive?
No.
One of Peter Jackson's first movies. Oh man, there's his grandma or his mom turns into like this zombie creature, and her ear falls off into her like porridge while they're having guests over, and she's just like eating her own ear, and there's just like goo coming out. It's disgusting and
Yeah.
wonderful. At some point, pus shoots into this dude's like dessert, his custard, and he's just like,
Well, there goes custard. I'm done with that.
We're helping your diet.
Thank you. Can you ruin like just like potato chips somehow for me?
It's one of those
No.
movies, and I haven't seen it in ages. I loved it, but it, it was a movie I saw when I was younger, so maybe it doesn't hold up as well. But it's got like you watch it and you're like, hey, that looks like Lord of the Rings. Like he's got the early stuff. Actually, when I was watching Lord of the Rings, I was like, that shot's from Dead Alive.
Yeah.
That shot's from Meet the Feebles.
It's where he sharpened his teeth.
But so the power ballad, I don't think we mentioned it earlier when he was creepily watching Melody, but there's this power ballad that plays, and I couldn't figure out which one it was in the credits, but it's just this cheesy 80s like fucking wannabe Poison.
It belongs in like
Michaels.
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it comes on. She picks a song on the jukebox, and that song comes on, and she's like shocked. Whitney was like, "You chose it."
Yeah, I was like,
But she does say,
Yeah, it
I
turns
just
out.
randomly picked some
Yeah.
numbers and letters.
It turns out. I mean, so he just changed every song to that song.
he replaced all the records with that one fucking record. He's like, I don't know what she's gonna pick, but
These guys who made this song are like, we went gold somehow. Like,
we sold at least 36 records in one day.
so yeah, it was her and Eric's song, and she's crying about it to Peter, and I'm sure he just loves hearing so much about Eric while he's trying to hook up with this girl.
Yeah.
I
the-
mean,
the great
their
part
first
is-
date is about to come up, and this is quite a first
Well,
date.
the great part
What
is
a
at some
first date.
point she's like talking about Eric. I don't know if it's during this date or whatever, and she's like, "I love him so much. I loved him." Blah blah blah. And then later on, when she's talking to Eric, she's talking about Peter. She's like, "I love him." I'm like, just pick one.
Yeah. Yeah.
This has your favorite trope of people immediately falling in love.
I put that down too. It's like, fuck, dude, it's been a day and you've barely been together this whole day.
Yeah.
You know, really. But she does start recounting like we get a flashback of her and Eric getting it on. You know, like they're having good sexy
yeah.
time, and then she's like, "Oh, sorry, should I go on?" He's like, "Yeah, please do."
Yeah,
he
and
is
he's
horny
like,
for this.
He's like, I want to hear every wet detail.
Please go on.
Please tell me more. Yeah, that's what's happening right now. Actually, it's when they're in the car, like talking to each other, because he's talking about how he went to the security company and described this guy, and they were like, "Nope, never heard of him."
We don't hire guys with receding hairlines, greasy hair, dangly earrings, and more than 5 o'clock shadow beards. It's just not in our criteria.
We don't hire guys that look like security
Criteria.
guards.
It's our criteria. Guardteria. Oh, you fucked that one up, pal.
I do love though, like, so the security company doesn't know who he is. They apparently didn't notice his name on his fucking shirt, which is how I learned his name was Volker. It's on his fucking shirt. But later on in the movie, when she calls Peter, she's like, "Christopher's here." I'm like,
Who the fuck is Christopher?
Who the fuck is Christopher?
this is the one time the word Christopher is spoken in this entire film.
And I'd like to like imagine there's a deleted scene that explained it, but we watched
You know
them.
what? Oh, okay.
There isn't one.
She's telling Peter, "Oh, thank you so much for being such a good friend and investigating this stuff for me." And he's like, friend.
Bitch, I'm trying to get a little bit of action.
She tried to put him in the friend zone.
Yeah. He is trying to get it wet, and she's trying to put him in the friend zone, and he's like, "Yeah, well, we'll see."
And I think while this is going on, we get a bit of nostalgia drip besides it being the mall. I think the shithead Posner's son finds this fishtail skateboard, like Santa Cruz style skateboard.
With the loose trucks where you can like...
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's right after he was harassing. He harasses Susie. That's what I was pointing out earlier.
Oh,
Eric
yeah,
kills
yeah,
him
yeah.
for harassing Susie. I guess because she's tangentially related to Mel.
Well, also, he's Posner's son.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
That's a big one too. But
So,
the son is being like
A piece of shit.
kind of fucking rapey.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, he's
Hey, you gotta get it.
1000%.
You gotta get out of here. I gotta close up. Like, no, that's not happening.
My dad owns this
My
place.
dad owns this place.
yeah.
My dad owns like a dealer shop and like a mall.
My dad owns the mall.
My dad can
Oh,
own you.
what does he say? Oh no, this Posner comes in and interrupts and like tells him to leave, and he leaves. He's like, "Teenagers, what are you gonna do, right?" And she's like, "Yep, chip off the old block." So basically, she's telling her boss, "Yeah, well, go fuck yourself."
Yep,
I guess he's not
shit.
her boss. He owns the mall. She works for the store that's in the mall.
I get the feeling he's like this entire town's boss.
Yeah, he's very important. Well, because he's. I mean, every time you see him, he's talking about money, making money.
He's a developer.
Yeah,
He's a capitalist.
Yes. He jumped on that money train.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he's riding Justin's riding that little fucking 80s skateboard. It looks like something I had when I was 8. Mm-hmm. Like it's got like the big plastic thing on the
Bright
back
orange
side,
wheels.
and like it's kind of like fucking Michael J. Fox's skateboard a little bit.
Oh,
Back to the Future.
But
yeah.
it's like a smaller one.
But I mean, this is what the skateboards were back then. The big
Yeah.
giant fishtail. Santa Cruz is a big company that made skateboards in the 80s, and they made the giant fishtails. They got progressively smaller until what we know, which came much later in the 90s.
Yeah, when it was
which
more
is
focused
that-
on doing tricks and
Yes.
not just skateboarding. This
Well,
was
tricks back then was a lot of flat landing. What he's
Yeah.
doing in this movie, like just like kind of standing, spinning, and walking the skateboard, were much bigger deals.
Yeah.
We hadn't figured out quite how to ollie.
Well, this was. I mean, I don't
really?
know when was the whole Dogtown thing and stuff. That's like late 70s, right?
Dogtown,
They're
the Z-Boys,
basically-
yeah.
They're basically trying to like surf on the land. That
And
was
that's
their
exactly
idea.
what
so
that
it looks
is.
like a surfboard esque.
Their tricks are like putting your hand down and making a sharp 180, which, you know, if you're a pioneer, that's hard to do.
Yeah.
Now you look at it and like, yeah, we all do that.
Yeah, I mean, I do it all the time.
I do it all the time. I'm doing it right now.
Just call Tony Hawk.
If I could call Tony Hawk, I would.
So anyway, while he's skateboarding, one of my favorite kills, just because I mean it's tedious, whatever, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Eric throws a lasso. Apparently, he's been practicing his cowboy skills too.
What else do you do when you live in giant vents of a fucking mall?
He makes a lasso and throws it around fucking Justin's neck and just pulls it, and like somehow this rope is very thick, so I don't know how this works. Don't really care.
It's a half-inch thick.
But he like gets it into the like escalator system, so like that wouldn't go into the little grate.
Oh,
thing.
you're jamming that
Movie
up.
magic is all I have to
The
say.
kid's back on the escalator again.
Fucking remember what you used to take your shoelaces.
Oh my god, there's a kid stuck in the escalator. That's sorry, I love that.
Oh, I know it's
sequence.
from Mallrats.
I love that
Yeah.
sequence.
That kid is back on the escalator.
By the way, just a quick side note, that leads to probably my favorite Stan Lee cameo in any movie.
Your friend's obsessed with superhero penises.
No. That's a great that one's great because that was like his first cameo. But I mean, it leads to a good one in the Marvel movie.
Oh, he's reading
Captain
the fucking
Marvel
script.
Yeah, which takes place in the 90s, and he's reading the script, and he's like practicing his line. He's like, whatever, true believer, and like repeating it in the thing, dude. I fucking died.
Now, that is, to me, undoubtedly the best cameo from Stan Lee in the Marvel movies.
Yeah. I mean,
He's
that
poking a
one,
lot of good
I like the
fun.
one from Guardians of the Galaxy where it turns out he was a watcher, and he's like, and then that time I was a mailman or
Yeah.
whatever. But like,
I want to say there was a clip I saw where Jason Lee was like, "This was a father-son moment for me," and I actually felt like he was my real dad when at the Mallrats fucking scene right there.
Speaking of skateboarders, Jason
Yeah.
Lee.
yeah.
Oh god, yeah. Okay. Anyway,
So
rope gets fed through the escalator.
Yeah, and it pulls him. It slowly drags. I mean, the speed of an escalator. It drags Justin up the escalator, and when it gets to the top, I was really hoping his head would pop off, but it just kind of cracks his neck, and he's just
Yeah.
like blood coming out of his mouth and stuff. It's pretty sweet, especially because that guy's a fucking tool.
But he does take the head off.
No, that's that's Volker's head.
That was Volker's head.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought that was okay.
I thought it
the
was
dummy was
also-
so bad.
Yeah,
that
I mean, it's a terrible dummy head,
Yeah.
but it's Volker's head because it's right after that.
Because I was like, is that supposed to be his head? Oh, and then because I was like, there's like a receding line.
Yeah, it still has the beard, but it was like they just kind of like rubbed some ash on it.
Yeah.
coffee grounds.
Yes.
So she's recounting the story. Mel is recounting the story of the fire to Peter. He's like, hey, I know you were there and I was there, but why don't you tell me the story again?
Do you know what I loved about this? It's a fun thing in movies where like they're making out yada yada, and he goes, "Do you smell something?" And he opens the door to the entire house being engulfed in flames. Like I could, if somebody lit a match at the other side of your house right now, I'd probably smell it.
I don't know.
Let alone
Yeah.
So,
a
light a
giant
match.
fucking bonfire.
Dude, and this house went up in moments.
Moments.
Because like he walks in and it's all the things that apparently he did every day. It's like, here's some more orchids. Let me put on our song. We're gonna make out on my bed. And then immediately, do you smell something? Oh no, we're just in hell.
Yeah. instantly.
Who knows how long they were laying on top of each other making out?
Well, it
But
only
it's
showed
like
it for
these,
like 10 seconds.
It's like these movies where you're like, is that a boat? Like the boat sneaks up on you in a vast ocean of nothingness. Like all of a sudden you look up like, oh, we're fucked. That boat's 50 yards away. Where were you
came out of
miles
nowhere.
ago?
They do mention that this is where they mention that the neighbors or the developers had condemned all the other houses in the neighborhood and they were leaving notes on their house, but they were like, fuck it, we're not moving.
Which fuck you? How do you do that? How do you just
Yeah.
like your house sucks, dude? Get out.
See, in my head, I'm sitting here going, well, they would have to like, they could come along. I mean, it happens all the time where the big developers like try to buy people out, especially it's a thing we saw in like when you watch older movies from
We
like
saw it
the
here.
Dust Bowl and stuff. Well, I mean, yeah, look at fucking Broadway. They demolished all those houses to make it
Absolutely.
wider. But I feel like they go in and they have to buy it from you for
Yeah.
some
They
kind of
can't
value.
kick you out if you own that property.
But you
have
saw
to be
it-
compensated.
Hence
saw
the
it-
shack that's under the fucking Tankerverde Bridge right there
Yeah, that fucking random weird shack.
that you want to
Oh God, I
have
want to open a
in
bar
it.
there.
I mean, that you got to call that bar like the
Under the
bitters,
bridge?
the bitters, or
The
the
troll?
the fuck you,
Troll House.
troll
right?
house.
People, the fucking zoning committee is like, okay, you got to do all these renovations on it, and I'm like, no, I want it like this.
Yeah, as is or nothing.
So anyway, yeah, we see that's where we see his both Arizona pendants on the wall, and I'm like,
Yes.
apparently you don't know how Arizona sports politics works.
These pendants be fighting each other.
Yes, because nobody from Tucson is going to be like, yeah. Well,
I don't-
actually, no, I do know some people from
Yeah.
Tucson that are ASU.
People who went to
Bowers.
ASU though. I don't give any shits about any sport. And I just from growing up in Tucson, if somebody will be like Sun Devils, I'll be like, yeah, fuck you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
It's embedded in us, is it not?
It is.
Do
No,
you-
it is.
you're just like-
I never went to college. Spoiler alert. So I don't have an alma mater. I don't have a dog in this fight. But still, also, it's ingrained. Like
it's-
fuck ASU because we
Literally.
don't live in Phoenix. Like
Yeah.
that's it.
I mean, I went to the other school in Arizona, and you know, you don't walk.
Are
around
you a
being proud.
lumberjack?
Yeah.
Oh, you be proud of that.
Yeah,
I could be proud
I'm
of being a
proud
lumberjack,
that.
not those lumberjacks.
Oh, I'd be proud of that, buddy.
I mean, there are one of the
Out
or
of the
two-
schools in Arizona, it's the least rapey.
Two.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Two.
Okay,
I
then.
made sure of it.
There's these big like Paul Bunyan statues that some artist made a long time ago, and there's like I want to say like 5 or 9 of them or something that are floating around the country. 2 of them are in Flagstaff.
Oh, damn.
Let's get them all.
Gotta catch
It's like,
them all.
it's like the Infinity Gauntlet.
If you get all the lumberjacks, they just merge and come to
Fine,
life.
I'll do it myself.
Paul Bunyan and his fucking ox blue
Babe.
are real.
Yes.
Blue,
Babe, the
babe?
big blue ox.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I said blue.
Yeah, it is the blue ox, but
You're
it's
my
babe.
ox, blue.
You're my boy, babe.
So yeah, so
That'll do, pig.
Eric
That'll
helped
do.
Eric helped Mel get out of the window. Like
So she's dangling from this roof while he's like, "Oh, maybe I can help you up." She ends up falling on her own. Like, dude, just jump out
yeah,
the window.
and one of those fucking big
You're
lots.
a gymnast. Fucking somersault your way and roll it out.
One of those big lots fucking suit or bookcases right behind you falls on him and stops him.
Yeah.
and it's empty.
I could beat this thing up right now.
Dude,
You
you,
really
could take
could.
that thing off of you with the games in it. Like it falls on him and he's just like. "Meh."
And I don't lift 10-pound weights all day.
Well, he didn't back then. He just did floor routines and
Oh,
stuff.
okay, yeah, color guard.
So yeah, she looks up and she sees Volker, and I guess he was like maybe gonna dump gas on her or something, but then the
Yeah,
cops
she
started
has, like-
coming.
It was empty. It looked like it was empty. Like he got mad at his canister or his matchbook. He had
No,
performance
He, like-
issues.
no, so in her like flashback dreams, he's like actually splashing her. But at this scene, like he cannot strike the match. Like so, he dumped gasoline on her, but he can't.
I think in
light
the nightmare he's
match.
dumping gas on her. She's reliving
Yeah.
that with some PTSD.
And, then-
Okay.
and I think that
My
maybe,
guess, my
I
guess.
think that maybe was like a segue also into the scene where he was dumping gas on the security guard that he was burning. So it was like she's seeing this, and then it segues
It was a bit
into-
of fun with the
It doesn't matter.
cinematography, wasn't it?
Peter figures out for the second time in this movie that Volker is the arsonist. He's like, wait, maybe it was him, and da-da-da. And then she goes, maybe Eric's not really dead. And he goes, maybe. Let's dig up his grave and
First
find out.
date is digging up your fucking ex-boyfriend.
Oh my god! Also,
Jesus
your boyfriend died in a
Christ.
fucking fire. There's not going to be a body.
Well, they would bury the skeleton.
Yeah. Oh, you get. Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
you see him get blown
It's
up
a
later and
special
he's still a whole
fire that
body.
burnt. I have this conversation a lot with the people I watch movies with, it takes a special temperature of fire to burn bones.
400.
Like crematoriums, it's a very unique thing. A fire would still have bones
Yeah.
without accelerants. Well, he's got accelerants though.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. But there has to be like a Kelvin, I think, to
I don't know anything about
extinguish
fire.
bones.
I just know
yes.
that jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams. The
I
internet
don't
told
know
me.
anything about fire.
He is not an arsonist.
Lesson 1, dude. Fire bad.
Fire bad. I learned that from
Young
Peter Boyle.
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Young
Fire
Frankenstein.
marshal.
Putting on the roots.
Oh, I went fire marshal. I was
We'll get there.
So Volker, they're like, we're gonna go dig up my ex-boyfriend. Let's do it. And then Volker just
Bring
shows
some
up.
orchids.
Volker shows up and pulls Peter out of the fucking station wagon, and Mel gets out. I did write a note: the sweet station wagon. This is a wood paneled glory.
Woody.
Family truckster
all the
style.
way. We're talking National Lampoon's Vacation.
Family truckster.
Yeah.
Yeah, wood paneling and
And you know
all.
what? Should have rolled him up.
Yep.
So
It's okay. He has the world's strongest camera coming up.
Yeah, he does.
the guy hit the
Flash.
Volker like shoves Peter down and he's pulling Mel out. And he's like, "Hey, you remember me? We've been friends for a long time." And it's like, don't admit to this.
Yeah. Remember that time I burnt your boyfriend alive? Give her a quarter on you? No, I'll bring my own. I actually wrote it out and typed it and signed it so you can just have this. Turn it in.
They get away from Volker by Peter flashing him.
Yep.
That's what I wrote.
Camera flash. That was
It's
a bright
white
flash.
ass dick.
Yeah, he flashes the camera flash in his eyes, which I don't know. I mean, you gotta like crank the little thing, and on those old cameras, you had to like push a button for the flash thing to like power up, and fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Come on, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, you're doing the
that's
Iron Man
text message.
repulsor fucking noise.
You know what? I'm not good at noises.
No, you are.
We
Just
need
the wrong ones.
You know what we need in here? We
Soundboard.
No, that guy.
Michael Winslow.
Yes. I kept thinking Michael Rooker, and I was like, nope, that's not
Nope,
him.
we don't
That's
need
Mallrats.
We
Never
don't
mind.
need him.
Speaking of Mallrats, yes. And Guardians of the Galaxy, both those came up. They jump back into the station wagon, they drive away, and Volker starts chasing him, and he
It's kind of
calls...
shitty chasing. Like,
Yeah,
not,
I mean, yes and no. I mean, it's not a great... There's not a bunch of big action or anything, but we're talking like they're driving real cars through a real parking lot with real cars in it.
I'll
and
give you
real
that.
people.
I'll give you that.
I mean, they're stuntmen, obviously, but like... And like, obviously, it's not a great one. They couldn't hire like good stunt drivers or anything.
I guess what I meant by it is it's the worst cars to have in a chase
Yeah,
scene.
no, I mean, yeah, you have a station wagon running from a Pinto.
I'd rather see a semi chase a shore bus.
There is
I think that's
also
a Transformers thing.
zero CG in this movie, and I am
Yes,
1,000%
obvious.
for it.
I mean, I would say obviously, but then 1989, we were already starting. So.
Dabbling
yeah,
with it.
but
Yeah.
no, they did not want to fuck with any of that. They're like, no, let's burn this bulb.
I'll
Let's
tip
burn
my
this bitch
hat
down.
to this movie for that alone. If I didn't like this movie, which I do, I'm gonna tip my cap to him for just keeping it practical.
Because one of the things that Derek even pointed out was this house that's on fire. It's a house that actually is meant to be on fire. Like
Yeah.
It's
you
like-
can,
yeah.
When they pan up, they don't cut it soon enough because you can see
They
the
jib
like.
up.
I guess I don't fucking. I didn't go to college
Panning
for
is
this.
only left to right.
Okay, whatever.
Not all of us are
You have
lumberjacks.
tilting, but they're on a jib, which is like this, but with a
Okay,
camera. at the end.
whatever. They go up, and you can see
You're here to learn.
the flames coming out of the poles. Like
Hey.
this building is meant to go up.
Yeah,
like,
there's
this
like
is
little.
what
There's like little.
firefighters
You can see
use.
there's like little like
railing
crevices,
pipes.
kind of like little like pipe things, little openings in front of the house where fire comes out.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a house
Yeah.
that's on a lot that's meant to be like it's on fire.
I
That's
appreciate
why it
it.
just pans
Yeah.
on this. Bring this back, please.
Too expensive. It's
I
not.
will
but
say, it looks like it. Movie costs $2 to $3 million. I'm seeing
it
both of those on
made
here.
Okay.
3 is what I saw.
Okay, maybe that's where the $3 million is coming from. And then this says butchered to meet the result of the script being butchered to meet a $2 million budget. So
Oh. Well,
But-
I still bring that shit back
yeah.
because
So when they're doing the car chase, they're driving through the
Oh,
parking
yeah, there's
lot.
a movie here.
They're whipping around. The station wagon crashes into Ken Foree's car because Volker calls him to like come and help. He doesn't really do anything. He just drives his car in front of the station wagon and gets crashed into. I do love when he whips the station wagon around and leaves, and he drives through a group of people. that are coming out of the mall. And they're like, oh, what the fuck, man? Whatever. And like he drives through, fucking Volker comes down the other way and just fucking tail whips this car right into a dude.
It's a good stunt.
Awesome.
It's a good
it's
stunt.
beautiful.
I was watching it actually going, I hope that was a stunt.
Well, so I don't remember where I heard this, but it's like when stuntmen get injured doing a stunt, they really like when you keep it in because it means you didn't get hurt for nothing.
Yeah, you got hurt for a reason.
Like if that's the best take and I ended up breaking my arm, please keep it in.
In most
reals.
cases, that would probably be the best take
Yep.
too, because it would look the most real, being that it was.
But it's refreshing that I learned that the stuntmen are the ones that are like, hey, you please keep it in for the most part, at least from the majority of it.
yeah.
Don't hurt my soul.
So Eric like jumps off this thing onto the roof of Volker's car, and like he's trying to like
When
I don't
he
know, he's
jumps
punching the
onto
top
it-
of the car.
That's what would you do?
When he jumps onto it, there's clearly no windshield in there because
Yeah,
when he
it's a
jumps on,
stunt
he
car.
latches his hands inside.
I mean, it has
front
that little like
windshield.
lip that cars used to have, but
No,
he
but
couldn't
this-
latch
his-
onto the his
No
hands
way.
go into the
In
glass.
it.
Like,
No
but it's a
way.
stunt car. Like it's
Stunt car.
stunt car.
Back.
This is
Jason, I love you.
not meant to be seen in high definition.
No.
So, and he dives off, like he's punching the car, like not doing anything. It's distracting Volker, I guess. And like he rolls off the car right before Volker hits this thing and like jumps over some cars. I think he jumps 2 cars and then crashes into the third one. And like the car flips over and he crawls out and there's fire again just along the edge of the car. Like they just dumped some lighter fluid on
Tire
it.
wheel to tire wheel.
Go.
And the car is just slightly burning. Gives him just enough time to crawl out and walk to a safe distance, and the car explodes. And then for some reason, the other car 10 feet away also explodes.
It's a good 3 long seconds in between the 2 explosions, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, no, I mean
am.
you're blowing up real cars, and I always love that.
We will never deny real blow ups. Bring that shit back.
But now a weird choice. She goes to work.
Well, they're digging up
Yeah.
the grave.
No, this is where they finally go and dig up the
Oh,
grave.
okay. I thought they dug up the grave. Yeah.
They think get away from. They're like, well, he's not chasing us anymore. Let's go ahead and dig this grave up. I'm not. And Peter digs a perfect rectangle.
I love this. I love this in movies. I'm like, man, this guy with
hate
the
this
shovel.
in movies.
Oh, I don't actually enjoy it, but I just look. I go, perfect rectangle.
Yeah, and he
Fuck
also
you.
digs waist deep and finds the coffin. I'm like, oh, so they went budget on this one, huh?
Oh, you can afford a 3-footer, huh? I don't like him that much.
Dig a 6-foot hole by hand, like to get down to this dude. It'd be like that. It'd be like in any
I mean,
horror movie where there's like rain and he's digging. The sun's coming up.
The parents
still.
are dead, so whoever's burying this body is like the bank or like
Yeah.
somebody who buries bodies when they have no one left.
Nobody,
I'm
because-
asking for a friend.
No, because like there would not be a
The city-
headstone. Nobody's gonna put a
I mean,
headstone for somebody.
Yeah, I was gonna say unless the parents might have had their headstones
The
picked.
parents
out,
were
but-
in the fire.
I mean,
It was the
but I
80s.
mean, they might have already. I'm saying like they might have had stuff picked out, but that would be for
Gotcha.
themselves,
My parents
not for their
already had
kids.
Because I gotta imagine it's hard to fake a
yeah,
death.
My parents have all their stuff.
Like
picked
when they
out.
open to an empty casket, I'm just like, man, how did you do this? How did you, the Phantom of the Mall, get the whole city to go along with you being dead? And like, hey, just do me a favor, bury this fake casket. No one's gonna give a shit.
And the coroner's like not pronouncing you dead.
Yeah.
You have the worst coroner in
That's the first problem. This is your first problem. It's like the coroner knows you're not dead.
the worst coroner in the Tri-County area that he's from or whatever. Like he's like, oh, like this guy's dead. No, he's dead.
I said
Maybe
what I said.
they're saying this. Maybe this is where they're like, you know what? Let's just give this whole family plots and we'll just bury empty caskets because, you know, this house burned and now we're going to build a mall on top. Maybe Posner did it.
You know what?
Maybe Posner paid for all of that shit.
Told you guys I just watched Doom Asylum. This is one of the other good movies this guy made.
It was only 3 feet deep, so.
Same thing at the beginning though. This character, one of the main character who ends up being the killer supposedly dies and then doesn't and comes back. But they do have a scene with like a coroner and he's like trying to do stuff and there's like this trainee coroner guy and he's like, that guy's still alive because his hand's like moving and he's like, it's just rigor mortis. It's a nerve effect. It just happens, whatever. And the guy like opens his eyes and he's like, yeah, he's not alive. And he's like cutting into him and shit. And then he like sits up and he's like, oh, Mr. So-and-so. Sorry, I thought you were dead, kind of thing. I'm like, is this the same coroner?
I honestly didn't check your pulse, vitals, nothing. I looked at you and thought, you're dead.
He was on that, you know, episode of Quantum Leap.
You know that episode.
You know, that one.
With the coroner.
Yeah, I know. I was being an asshole.
Okay, I
'Cause
was
you,
like,
'cause
I
you
know
said that
you know.
episode, and then it was... So, anyways, yeah, they dig it up. The casket's empty. Bum, bum, bum.
Shoot.
Wait a second. Does that mean it's Eric that's been running around the mall this whole time?
Wait, do you think Eric's alive?
I mean, we thought he was alive, but he's really alive.
He's getting his revenge? Let's go smoke some weed.
Oh, man. I could really use a Scooby snack. Or a fucking joint.
Or a foot-long fucking
Oh,
sub.
you know what? They were the original ones that were just running around eating edibles all day.
Yes,
Hell
they
yeah.
were.
Like brownies were a thing, but these guys were just like, no, I don't smoke, Scoob. It hurts my lungs. That's where this voice is from.
I smoke too much, Scoob. I hit the 6-footer bomb.
So I just eat these doobie snacks. Scooby snacks.
What did I say?
I said what I said.
So yeah, something comes to nothing, but Posner basically is telling Volker, like, you got to get rid of that earring. That's how everybody's finding you.
Yeah.
And he like reaches to take it off, and he's like, nobody fucking takes this shit off. He like, slaps his hand away. He's like,
Over my dead body.
Yeah, over my dead body.
There's
And, like,
some backstory. This kid is like an orphan from a Catholic orphan, and he's got a pendant of Saint Christopher, and it's the only thing he has to remember the orphanage he burnt down to get away from this, and then became a hired assassin. Yes, ma'am.
Flash forward, the Home for Robins.
He was one of the original ones from the Home for Wayward Robins or whatever.
Well, if they would have had him, they would have burnt that school down like they were supposed to. Fuck.
You'll get that joke if you listen to Death Note.
Yes, previous episode, Death Note. Find it.
Fuck around and find out.
Fuck it.
So we have another. It's clearly a dream again, a sex dream with.
Oh, her nightmares are so horny.
Oh my god. This
They
girl
always
is
start with fucking.
wanting.
Yep.
And this one, she's having this crazy gangbang with one guy because it starts with her having sex with Eric.
Yep.
And then he like transforms into Peter.
Coming up from coming down.
But then he like puts his face down on her, and she like has her hands on his head. So it's like Eric's mullet from the back. It's like a fluffy feathered mullet.
Oh.
But then when he sits up, it's Volker.
a greasy mullet.
Yeah, it's a greasy mullet, and it's
just like,
Volker.
Still a
And then
mullet.
she screams and wakes up, and she's sweating, and she's still under a fucking 2-foot thick comforter. Stop sleeping under the comforter if it's that hot.
Also,
If you're going to wake up moist, give you some airflow.
take off your fucking flannel pajama set.
I think in this one she was just wearing like a t-shirt.
Nope, still flannel. I looked.
I do have a note
She's
here.
on PJ Patrol.
I do have a note
am.
here that Eric is now creeping around the basement, and he plants C4 without arming it, but he does come back to arm it. So
It does come back.
But like it's this long scene of him like twisting a pipe and like just touching stuff, and then all they do is show him sliding 2 blocks of C4 in. I'm like, first of all, you didn't buy C4 or steal C4 at the Rufus
Not at the roughest.
or whatever it's called, the Rouge House.
It's supposed to be the rough house, but as you pointed out, it's
Missing
just
an H.
It's either rough, OUSE, roughhouse,
it's Ruffles,
or it's the Roog house.
yeah, that's fucking stupid.
It's dumb.
It's the row house.
I get it. Someone's trying to be clever, but you didn't nail it.
Yeah, well, that's why that mall store went out of business.
That's why?
Yeah,
Rough
Okay.
house.
that specific mall store. I mean, also because it got
It's
blown up.
I was like, this mall went out of business first when someone gets killed. A bunch of people get killed in it. Even if you can recover from that, it get blowed up.
This mall went out of business after this gets blown up here. It went out of business after the robot security guards destroyed it. It went out of business after Arnold Schwarzenegger killed a dude in there.
I still think this is supposed to be like the Mall of America. I don't remember when the Mall of America went up.
It's not that
But
big.
that's
This
a
is just like-
5-story mall that put
Oh,
Minneapolis.
but the Vandals song will let you know this has at most 4 stories.
4 stories, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was
Plus,
just
I mean,
like,
we don't have them here really. I mean,
We only
the
have
mall
2
we have
stories.
with the one we have that has more than
Tucson
one
Mall.
story is the Tucson Mall with 2 stories. But in like the Midwest and stuff, where like the 80s,
You can't go outside.
The middle class had the 80s. 80s had middle class money, so
Yeah.
these people got like you had the 3, 4, 5-story tall malls.
Also, it's Tucson. Why would you build up when you have all kinds of out?
yeah, you can build out in
Hey, you
Tucson.
can build this giant mall, take up a bunch of land, and then when it goes out of business, you've just got hundreds of acres, thousands of acres
Did
taken
you
up
know-
by
Well,
an
it's not
empty
going to go out
building.
of business ever.
No,
Oh.
malls will forever be around. So Mel is at what's it called? Sleuths. She's at
Yeah,
the bar.
because you have to just go back like nothing's going on.
Yeah.
You have to
There
pretend
are
like everything's
no
okay.
cops in this movie.
No.
You should have called the cops when you got raped, or I'm sorry, when you almost got raped, but you got picked up by Morgan Fairchild.
You
Yeah,
called the
instead she's like,
mayor.
I'll drop you off and then the cops will want to talk to you. No, you fucking call the cops. And now
They're trying to avoid any negative press for the mall.
but now you got you and your okay. So now there's Morgan Fairchild's not in this part of it. You and your new boyfriend just got held at gunpoint, and you're like, you know what, dude, just play it cool. Let's go back to work.
Hey, it's okay. I found out my boyfriend's a zombie or something. It's fine.
Oh man, yeah.
But also, are you going to call the cops when you have it in with the mayor? Like, she's got
Yes.
mayor on speed dial.
There are 8 times in this movie you should call the cops minimum.
Minimum.
Digging up your boyfriend's grave, somebody should have called the cops on you.
Yeah.
Where
Where the
then
fuck
when
is
it
the
comes
guy
out
that lives
empty.
there? The caretaker. Like, so Volker is sitting in the bar just smoking and staring at fucking Mel, and it's just weird to see. I know it's the 80s, but it's just weird to see someone just chilling inside, just chain smoking. He doesn't
Yeah.
even have a beer in front of him. He's not even pretending to be a customer. He's just wearing like this. I think
No,
it's like
he
a jean jacket.
has a glass in front of him. He's got a drink with him.
Does
He's
he?
sitting at the table and he's got
He's
a
not
drink.
paying attention to it.
He's got a little rocks glass and he's just like,
Little shot.
But this is where she calls Peter, and she's like, "I saw Christopher."
yeah.
And then he attacks
the
her. He attacks her in the hallway, and we get like an extended fight question
Yeah.
mark. So he's like trying to force her, and he takes her into this room, and he's trying to throw this chick into the trash compactor. It's not. I also wrote Baylor. I know you guys both said Baylor. It's not cardboard though. It's trash. So it's a full on trash compactor. He's trying to huck her into there. Eric's been
It's gonna
watching.
be a messy death.
I'm here for it.
Well, it would have been great.
So I did mention one episode, I think it was last one maybe, that I made a couple little like short fake movie things, when
Yeah.
I was trying to be a film person. I made one about a guy who works at a grocery store and murders customers. Weird.
Check it out. It's pretty entertaining.
you write what you know, huh?
It's called The Clerk. Maybe I'll link it on our YouTube page. Who knows? But it's there was a scene I wanted to do, and I ended up not being able to do it, where somebody gets thrown in a baler. And what I was gonna do was put someone in the baler, and like, we have the thing cut low angle, so you have the thing moving down. But there's no person in there, obviously. And then when the thing goes down, I was just gonna pour a bunch of the fake corn syrup blood I made into the bottom of the baler, so it all just ran out.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
Super gushy.
Yeah. But I made this movie for as low a budget as I could because I worked in a grocery store.
Yeah.
And I couldn't afford that much corn syrup to make it look good.
Couldn't afford groceries.
I couldn't. I worked in a natural food store. You can't afford to shop there. People are like, have you eaten this? I'm like, you think I shop here?
You tell me how it tastes, pal.
I actually did say that to somebody when I worked there.
Yeah, I told people all the time. I was like, no, I work here. I can't afford to shop here.
eat here.
But yeah, that was one that I was like, oh, that'd be cool. But anyway, so he's trying to throw her in there, and Eric comes out and fucking Van Damme kicks this dude right in the fucking head. Or maybe
100%.
more of a Swayze, because it's definitely a roundhouse.
Yeah,
a roundhouse.
it is a roundhouse.
Which is that what he does in Roadhouse?
Roundhouse
full,
from
a
Roadhouse.
a full roundhouse because he goes opposite, so he gets that full swing around.
Yeah. Kicks the shit out of him, and they have this like extended fight scene that's got
Decent.
some decent moments and some really boring
Somebody
moments.
wanted a fight scene here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody
And-
wanted a real balls out, knock around fight scene.
And I'm wondering if this kid that plays Eric is like a stuntman, because like his picture on IMDb was from this movie, and it was like a shot from the movie, and like he was in a couple things, but not much, and like so I'm just wondering if it was like he's a stuntman and they just had him play this character because all he really has to do is stunts.
I mean, watch this alternate beginning, and he's doing the rings on his
Yeah.
own, and like,
All of
and
them.
So like he could have
hold
been the
himself
guy
up.
from Jim Kata, is what you're saying.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yes, he could be Yim Kata.
My name is Jim Kata. But there's some martial arts of some sort, karate, I don't know.
I believe it's called Jim Kata.
And fucking Volker grabs an axe and like swings at him, and he just grabs the axe in front of his face. Very like
You've seen this
badass
move.
scene.
You've seen this move before, usually with a samurai sword, but
Yeah.
this is like a fucking axe. Just clap,
Fire
pinch.
axe just stops it. No, don't worry, I've been lifting all these 10-pound weights. I got this.
Paid off. 10 pounds paid off, dude.
Volker is holding Eric down and hits the trash compactor thing, and he's like, "Oh, his head's gonna get crushed." Eric grabs the trash compactor thing, and you hear him pushing against it. It's good sound design. He's pushing it, and you can hear the motor whining. It's like,
You know he's pushing it up.
and he's pushing it up.
That thing
like,
pushes down at like 1,000 pounds, doesn't
yeah, the
it?
thing's made to crush. I mean, maybe a trash compactor has less pressure than like a baler, because the baler is crushing boxes that people don't break down.
But even
But
using
either way,
that
like-
physics, now he switches because he doesn't get killed by this thing.
Oh, what?
And he gives you the flip for real, and now we got Volker
Yeah.
in the vulnerable position.
Yeah,
He's
and
trying to hit
he's
the
trying to
very
hit the stop
vulnerable.
button.
He keeps hitting start.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's just one button up, dude. There's 2 buttons in this thing. You're hitting one of them, and it's
Maybe
not
the
working.
more times you push start, the faster it goes. Like,
It's the more power it
just
gets.
like when you're trying to cross the street and you see people just pushing the fucking crosswalk button.
Oh, that doesn't work. Oh, I didn't know that.
And yeah, so the thing comes down and crushes his neck, and like, I mean, Eric does not get his arm out in time, but he does.
It's kind of the worst death in the movie.
Yeah, it pops off his head. I mean, which is fun, but it's a terrible dummy head.
It gives you just a little squirt.
Yeah, his neck does. That's the best part, is that they show the stump and it's just like.
Yeah.
I do love. So again, I started watching the behind the scenes thing, and they interviewed whatever his name is, something Cummins, the guy that played Volker.
Cummins.
And at the very beginning, he goes, "Is this the one where I got stabbed in the eye with a fork, or I got decapitated?" No. This is just the one where I got decapitated. And I was like, I don't know what that other movie is.
I'm
gonna
finding
find
that.
it.
I'm
Yeah.
finding that.
I need the fork in the eye.
that.
So Peter now gets back to the mall, and he finds Suze, and he's looking for Mel. I guess they're all hanging out at the bar, because I guess all the other shops are closed. The bar stays open late.
There's a back entrance.
It's got a dance club like right in between all these people eating dinner at tables.
So Posner is in the office with Ken Foree, and he's like getting ready for this party, and he's like, "Hey, make sure you guys are like in disguise or whatever.
No, he says be.
Be subtle.
No, he says don't be.
No, be less conspicuous.
Yeah, be less
Yeah.
conspicuous. I don't want people to see
Oh,
you."
so
Yeah.
It's a
Be
fancy way of seeing being be inconspicuous.
Well, but that doesn't really matter. The only reason I wrote this down, because I wasn't even going to talk about this scene, but then he goes to get his like suit jacket.
Oh yeah.
And he pulls his jacket off the coat rack, and fucking Volker's head is on the coat rack.
Which
again,
where was the time for him to put it on there?
Yeah, when did he get it there? Also, how did you not see that your jacket was hanging on a head and not the fucking coat rack? That's like, it would be like a point in your jacket. You know, it's just like.
Well, that looks different today.
I guess the guy is just so self-involved, he's not paying any attention.
There you
right?
go. No, I thought it was his son, and I was like, man, there was zero reaction to
Well, you know
to a
what?
dead head.
If that was my kid, I'd be like, oh.
He just starts crying out of joy. Oh my god, I
thank
can't
God.
wait to tell his mom.
Can't wait to collect that life
Little
insurance.
shits out of my fucking life. He's gonna bury his son in a 3-foot grave.
Oh,
You think he's going to bury his son?
is he gonna bury his son?
He's just going to drive through the woods with his son in the passenger seat and just reach over and open the door and shove him out.
There you go. Let nature have ya.
You know he's got a button that just opens the door.
Oh, speaking of that accent, if they are up in like the Midwest, like she said, maybe he'll just Fargo him and just run to a wood chipper.
Oh, yes, please. I love that scene.
I've always wanted to put someone in a wood chipper.
Oh, we're learning a lot today, aren't we?
I've driven behind.
Well, I gotta go.
I've driven behind like somebody that had a wood chipper on a trailer, and their base paint was red, and then they painted it something else. So now whenever they feed it into it, it's just got red under.
Oh,
Like
that's
where the
cool.
chips are cutting off of it.
Yes.
I was like, you know what? Paint your wood chipper red because it'll hide the stains.
It's pretty
Is
awesome.
that bloodstain? No, that's how I designed it.
So Mel now finds Eric's lair, and he's not paying. Somehow he doesn't have cameras leading into his lair. He's tapped into all the other cameras, and he's set up his own security cameras, but he doesn't have any that's leading into his place.
Because you have to get through a sewer.
So, but he could have put the camera. He's got power.
Nobody's going through sewers.
This dude is.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He's doing layers
By the
all
way,
wrong is what it is.
He mentions somewhere, like in a little bit here, like, I think it might be during this scene, but
It's right here.
he's like,
yeah.
"Oh, I told you about how I had a secret place under my house," and I'm like, "Your basement?"
Oh, he called it a special place, pal. He 100% called. I told you I had a special place.
Is this like the black room from the cabin in the woods? That's like where his dad used to bring him to like molest him and murder people.
I was thinking more like
Special
Footloose,
place.
where he just goes to dance it off, in an abandoned factory.
I don't know. It's just weird to have like
Footloose.
Footloose.
It's just weird that he has like he could just get into the sewers because like you think basement, but he goes through a manhole, so it's like a sewer. So even before his house burnt down, when he was quote normal, he would hang out in the sewer to like practice gymkhana.
Yeah, because, he was a Ninja Turtle.
Hey, this just in. If you're hanging out in sewers, you're not normal. I don't care if it's pre or post fire.
I
You
used to
fucking
hang out in
weirdo.
washes. Me and my girlfriend Gigi.
Well, that's Tucson.
That's Tucson. That
don't
that is specifically Tucson hanging out in a fucking wash.
You know what I didn't do when we were hanging out in washes? Didn't do a whole lot of going into those tunnels.
Yep.
So he like reveals his face. He takes off his Phantom of the Mannequin mask here, and like, you know, she's surprisingly not that grossed out right out of the gate.
But her face does drop, and also like I think she said it by this point, or it's coming up. Doesn't matter. I always knew you were alive, bitch.
Yeah.
You did nothing about it. Like I always
I
knew
always
you were
knew
alive.
as of about an hour ago that you were.
Like, if you did know I was always alive, why did you do nothing about it?
She tried, but everybody kept shutting her down and telling her
You
she
keep
was
going.
crazy.
Did you check the sewers? You gotta check this man's happy
She
place.
didn't know where his special place was.
Is this minutes after they dug up the grave, or is this the next night? Like she just discovered that he's alive.
I think
by
it's
the
the
way.
next
Always knew.
the timeline on this is really shoddy.
Yeah, because like
Because they get their
there's the
first
car
paycheck.
chase. There's the car chase, and they go to dig up the grave immediately afterwards, and then they're just at this party.
Yeah, when she's going to dig up the grave, she has a special date with Peter, and she already has her first paycheck. I'm sorry, you had to wait 3 fucking weeks in the 80s for your first paycheck.
Not at this mall.
At least 2 weeks, because it's you have the first
Everything
pay
was
period
2
and then the
weeks.
next pay
Yeah.
period. Yeah,
No,
like-
this mall wants you to spend. Here's your
fair.
paycheck. Put it back in the system.
you
You
you get your paycheck in the form of a mall gift card.
Can only be spent at the food court.
Well, Pauly Shore and Susie are trying to sneak into the security office, and he goes to like he opens the door, and there's like a dude in there, and he just closes it again. Like,
Okay, we gotta get him out of there.
like the guy didn't notice the door opening. Terrible security guard.
I
He's
mean-
just staring at this cigarette that he's smoking. By the way, he's
And
just,
not inhaling.
just
Yeah.
staring at the cherry like fire.
But now we
They
get
just like
like
to hire
kind of
pyromaniacs.
early Pauly Shore. Like this is the
Yes.
beginning of some Pauly
This
Shore ism.
Yeah.
He's dancing in the hallway.
Yeah.
Rubbing the nips.
going down the hallway to distract the security guard. Yeah, doing a whole strip tease.
Which why wouldn't you send this
The
fucking
sexy
young,
one.
sexy girl?
I think it's
He
just
didn't want to sexualize her.
so. I think
good for him.
yeah.
Good for
I
him.
think what it really is though is that he's clearly has a bigger crush on Susie than he does on Mel from the things that would happen throughout the movie.
100%.
So it's him trying to be like, hey, don't worry, I'll distract him. Like you just stay here, and he's trying to like.
How do you
he's-
know it's gonna work?
You don't, but
But we
like
know this
he's
guy's
doing like
a
he's doing a
perv.
little show. He's like, look how silly I am. Look, I don't care.
Lifts his
Like,
shirt,
like,
shows
yeah.
his nipples.
And like,
And
so he's trying to
then-
impress her, I think, but yes. And he definitely shows his asshole to this dude.
Yes.
And I think this guy, I might be wrong. I think this is a horny old goat that's like, oh
Yes,
yeah,
I'ma get this
man
butthole.
ass or
Yeah.
boy ass.
Yeah,
at
'cause
this
he's-
Oh, that's
point.
because he's a teenager.
Yeah, he's watching Pauly Shore like do the strip tease, and he's like sitting up closer to the thing. He's
puts
like,
his glasses on.
Yeah.
he puts his glasses on so
and
he can
then,
get a better
and
look
I
at
think what
these
it's supposed
cheeks.
to be is like it's an old man going like, "What the fuck am I seeing?" But
Oh,
really,
no,
it
he's
looks
very
like,
excited
Yeah,
about
it
it,
looks
though.
like he's happy
Yeah.
about it. And then Pauly Shore bends over, and like he moons the camera, but he bends over, so he's like spread eagle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He's like, look into my brown eye.
he's using a bidet in the '89s though because it's clean back there.
And then, so immediately, the security guard picks up his nightstick and walks out the
I'm
door.
like, where's this nightstick going?
I'm going to get this guy.
And either way, even if you're thinking that he wants to sodomize him with it, or you're just thinking he's like, this kid's goofing around the hallway, I'm gonna beat the shit out of him.
Not on my fucking watch, pal.
Because he's a cop.
He's a fucking co-op.
So he
He's
comes out,
security
and then
guard.
like they're in the hallway that they were in, presumably, and he turns the opposite direction.
Uh huh.
I don't. Like,
That's why
did you
he's
not
not
know
a
which
cop.
hallway you were watching?
Because he's that great of a security guard.
I mean, I guess he just got hired. He's like, look, I don't know which one's which, guys.
I don't see anything down here, so let me go around this corner over here.
He's gonna go beat up somebody else that kind of looks like
He-
Pauly Shore. Like I saw you, whap, crack
I guess
skull.
he could be an old Italian. He's got a little bit of a Polly Walnut.
Yeah,
look
he
going
does.
on.
All right.
He's got a little
Officer
Don Otten.
Giuseppe
Yeah.
on the case.
So they're hiding around the corner while the security guard is looking at her. He's like, shh, shh, I got you. Don't move.
Yeah, and they break into the security office. I mean, it's jumping ahead a little bit. We'll just cover it. They break into the security office basically to look for Mel. And they see like, oh, look, her keys are in that hallway. Let's just leave and now go to that hallway.
Yeah,
Well, because they're right next to a vent that is cockeyed. Because
very convenient.
Yeah.
Eric
which
made
they-
a mistake.
They don't mention that the vent is open though until they get there. She's
No,
like,
you can see it in the
I know,
camera.
but
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
they
We
go-
can see it.
They go there though, and then Suze is like, "Oh my gosh, that grate's open."
Oh, it's great.
But like, whatever. That happens. That's how they find how to get into the sewer complex / vents. I don't know. These vents connect to the sewer, which means this mall smells like shit. I don't know.
There's no way it doesn't. There's no fucking way it doesn't.
But
unless the sewer just isn't in use anymore. Like, he's got a very dry, sandy layer.
Yeah,
and these
everything's dry.
Tunnels are
is this
pristine.
where he starts getting like kind of psycho?
Yeah. So this is the
Yes.
speech scene. This is when he's like telling her like. He's like, oh, I killed this guy and I did this and
this closet is for you.
What do we say? This mall is for you, Damien.
It's mall for you, Damien.
Because he's just screaming, I did it all for you. And she's like, and he's like, we can be together forever. Because she was telling him she doesn't care that his face is melted. And she's just like, no.
I can't fuck that. There's no way.
No.
I can't keep looking at this.
Oh, but we do get a precursor to Fire Marshal Bill.
Yeah, we
because
do.
we get the real crispy side of this dude's face, and he just goes real calmly, "Let me show you something." Repeated one more time. Come on, let me show you something.
And he's got this. We didn't mention he's got a really distorted voice, and you guys said it was from smoke inhalation, but it's also like it's like a synthetically distorted voice.
It
it's
is
like,
synthetically distorted.
Yeah. Like, let me say you something. Let me show you something. Was this? When did
Is it
In
a
Living Color
Seagal?
start?
Is he trying to do a Seagal voice?
When does what?
I thought Seagal. I was like, this is my Seagal.
He's like hard whispering.
Raspy Seagal. When was In Living Color? Did it start in the 80s?
It was in early 90s.
Was it early 90s or late 80s? Because we kind of posited that
I want to say
maybe
it was like
this was like the origin of Jim Carrey's
91?
Fire Marshal Bill
like he's
character.
watching this program
Yeah.
and like, hey, I've got a character.
He's like, hey, I'll watch this movie while I'm living in my car.
Living Color.
Because, that was what he was doing famously.
That's when
the
J-Lo
first-
was a fly girl.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The first Fire Marshal Bill is 91.
Okay,
is
So-
what
So, yeah, so
Yeah.
he
is
could
what
have
the
seen
internet
this, and he
says
was
to
like,
me.
well, I get it. That guy's almost got the right voice, but like, what if you
What
got in a
if he-
fire? There'd be no lips.
What if he tucked those lips up and got real crazy? Let me show you something.
Yeah, 100%. That's where he got it from.
I mean, if he got real crazy, he's been murdering people.
We see you, Jim.
But real crazy.
Oh, okay.
Like Jim Carrey now crazy.
I mean, what do you think is going to happen after you date?
That end of sentence. What do I think's gonna happen after I date?
Oh my God.
Hopefully sex.
Jenny McCarthy. Though she did marry a Wahlberg.
I'm sure she did.
Is that supposed to be in her defense?
Donnie. She married Donnie Wahlberg.
Oh, that makes
It's
it
not even a
better.
real Wahlberg.
Yes, he is a real Wahlberg.
He was a new kid.
A new kid on the block.
He wasn't a Funky Bunch,
bitch.
though.
No.
Because the Funky Bunch was with Marky Mark. Donnie Wahlberg was with the new kids.
But
This is
then,
all terrible, by the way.
aren't
It
there
is.
4 brothers? Where's the 4th?
You know four more
Hey,
things
it's funny
about
that you
them
said
than
aren't
I
there
do.
4 brothers because
Mark Wahlberg
wasn't
did
Mark
movie called
Wahlberg
Four
in a movie
Brothers?
called Four Brothers with Tyrese.
Yeah. No, because one owns the
Hey, my brother's
Wahlburgers.
black, yo.
He's a head
Hey, what's it like being my brother?
I don't know.
Hey, my brother married Jenny McCarthy.
Hey, that's nice. He's got good hamburgers.
It's awesome, bro.
He does have like a really odd voice, doesn't he?
He's always kind of whispering, it's not that hard.
Let me be a peacock.
You gotta let me fly.
I still love that fucking movie.
That's a good movie.
I love that movie.
Like when she tells Eric, "I'm not gonna be with you forever," he basically just goes, "Man," runs out of the fucking thing and like locks her in.
Legit, it is a meh.
You can see like little kid limp arms when he's running.
And this is when you start to suspect, even though I kind of already did, that
Eric's the Phantom? Dun dun dun!
no, that Morgan Fairchild and fucking Harv
yeah.
Posner are in league.
Yeah.
Because they're going out to their like little soiree, and he's like, "Time to make money, lots of money, all the money," and she's like, "Yeah, money, 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 money." They say money like 11 times.
Oh yeah.
And then that's when Peter. Well, oh no, Peter and Eric are fighting. They're
Well,
doing
Peter
their
is
fucking
going
thing.
through. Peter's going through the sewer /
The
vent
truck-sized
whatever.
tunnels.
The
and
cartoon
he,
drop.
and he falls into the Rancor pit here.
Oh.
And another.
And there's another dead body down there. What, was that the
Yes.
maintenance guy?
Yes.
All right, cool. We figured
Maintenance
out what
guy
happened to
and then
him.
headless Volkner.
Yes.
Okay.
May the force be with you.
And then this is where we get another Chernobyl. So they had the snake for the toilet scene.
Another Chernobyl.
There
That's
is-
when the mall just explodes a little bit here.
So the snake from the toilet scene that we talked about earlier,
Conrad.
Conrad the Cobra.
Is released into this little pit area that Eric has made.
Yeah.
After Pete drops down the cartoon. He steps on a grate. This is what I mean by cartoon drop. He steps on a grate and stands for a second and makes like a oh shit face, and then the grate drops.
It's like the grate dropped and he had to look down to fall.
Yes.
Little Peter-shaped puff of smoke left up there right above the trap.
Yeah, and he releases the snake by like hitting a tripwire. Like it's a trap that's set up to stop people.
It's a trap!
I guess I said there were no cameras, but he did set up traps. So, and then like when the snake comes out, the grate behind him falls to like block him in, even though it doesn't latch. It just like falls and like swings.
You can easily push through it.
And like you can tell that Peter and this snake were never in the same room.
Never.
No. You pay for a snake. You didn't pay for an actor and a snake to be in the same scene.
Exactly.
We have one stuntman and we hired him as Eric.
A lot of insurance money with being with the Cobra, I imagine.
Ooh, yeah. They had to cut this to make it fit a $2 million budget.
Eric does mention that he's trying to. He comes back now to the room after so when he left is when he set the C4 the detonators.
Yeah.
And then he comes back and he's like on top of Mel yelling at her and he's like, I'm gonna take this home all out and you and me with it and whatever he says. But he's basically like, we're dying, we're all dying together. Like his original plan, I think, was to blow up the mall and go and live happily ever after with her.
If I can't have you, nobody can.
Exactly.
Well, we also don't know if the mall blowing up would have ruined his special place.
It seems like it's pretty far away. It's like way underground. It's a whole journey.
The structural integrity will hold up. Trust.
I mean, it survived one house burning down.
And with pristine tunnels.
So now is when Peter gets into the room and him and Eric fight. And they're like throwing each other around. It's not nearly as good a fight as him and Volker earlier.
Not even close.
Because this Rob Estes is not an action actor. I mean, this other
He's
dude
not an actor at this point. It's terrible.
I mean, he's in 96 episodes of Melrose Place. He probably got at least one fight there, but that's a year later, so that's.
I like how your defense of him not being a good actor goes to Melrose Place.
And then one thing that's not really shown upon is this is actually when Buzz and Suze are walking through the tunnels. But then one of the deleted scenes is he's like, let's just stop right here and sit and have a heart-to-heart.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a full-on, like, remember when I said I liked you? And she's like, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever think you'd like me? Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. I said it's okay.
All right, let's go see if our girlfriend's murdered.
Yeah.
Now that I know you like me, let's go find whatever the fuck M name hers is.
And that's
Melody?
Melody. That's why they don't
Melody.
come in until after the fight scene.
Yeah, so because they find each other in the tunnels
Yes.
like when they're leaving. When Melody's
They find
this is
themselves
where
in those
Melody
tunnels,
screams.
Derek.
Like Eric is about to do something to Peter, and then Melody's like, "No, don't! I love him." I'm like, best case scenario, it's been a week.
Okay,
yeah,
Ariel.
absolutely. And also, in that week, you've spent very little time together that wasn't digging up your ex-boyfriend's grave.
I will say, I mean, high schoolers are stupid, and these are supposed to be. I mean, we forget they're high schoolers because they look like they're in their mid-20s.
Like they all just graduated and they're getting summer
Their
jobs
very
to save
first
up for
jobs,
college
yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
shit.
So whatever.
If
Just
you
know
can
I love
afford
him.
college after one summer job.
Well, 89. I think you can afford college much more back then than you can now.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is when you were like, "Oh, the student debt has me drowning. I owe $3,000."
Yeah.
I wish my student debt was only $3,000.
I mean, $3,000 1989 money is something around like $11,000 now, but that still wouldn't cover your student debt.
Still
Like,
nothing.
we go to now. There's the party. Like I don't know. Eric runs off or whatever. No, he ends up knocking him out. I think Peter knocks Eric out.
Yeah.
And then so they leave the dungeon here.
Well, how do they leave the dungeon? She says, hey,
that's right,
the
fire-
fire's blocking the exit.
Oh, God.
And he looks around and you think like, oh, man, how are they going to get out of this one?
Yeah, I don't remember how the place caught on fire in the first place.
A lamp. A lamp
okay.
hit, and you can very clearly see accelerant.
Yeah.
But again, it's not CGI, so I'm nitpicking.
Yeah.
But I did notice this lamp sparks, and you can see where they like sprayed out
Yeah.
the accelerant.
And yeah, she's like, we can't get around this fire. How do we get out of here? And he's like, I have an idea.
And
Let's
they
walk around the fire.
They walk around a burning couch.
What? You can do that?
What else would you do? We can't somersault over it, so I guess
Why
we're
not?
stuck. It's on fire.
So
can't go around it.
The soiree is happening up in the fucking mall, which is a stupid sentence. And like they're
Ooh,
opening.
that's the stupid sentence of the podcast.
Would you say it was a cotillion?
No, I would not say
No,
it's
no
a
one was
cotillion
dancing.
ever.
No one was dancing.
There are myriad reasons I wouldn't say cotillion. Though the number one is no one's dancing. Number two, stupid fucking word.
Hey, if you want to hear the origin story of Jack's hatred of the word cotillion, check out our episodes on Voyage of the Rock Alien.
They didn't think at all.
We didn't know.
We didn't know.
The Vandals were in this song.
We used to watch old time cotillion shows.
We used to watch stupid horror movies.
Wait, what did you say? The Vandals wrote this song. I like that.
Yes.
We didn't know.
We didn't know.
So Morgan Fairchild and fucking Posner are doing their like
Morgan
opening speech.
Fairchild, yeah.
It's about how they're opening the last. They're gonna turn the lights on in the last corner of the mall. So this mall's just been sitting here with like a dark corner.
Well, they're waiting for the spire to be
Yeah, the Midtown Spire,
What is a
Midwood
spire?
a tower.
some sort of monolithic structure with
With-
a point at the end.
Yeah.
Points.
If you can't be killed on it, it's not a spire.
You know what a
Okay.
spire is? A spire is what Morgan Fairchild's about to be impaled on.
It's an implement of death.
So is this where they
So-
run and like find the mayor?
Yeah, so
And
the,
they're like-
all the kids meet up in the tunnels. Like they're on different tunnels with like a grate between them somehow. Like there's in tunnels and out
It's
tunnels.
a Scooby-Doo moment.
Yeah.
It's just
They
Looking
find
up?
each other
Oh,
and they
hey.
go to the party and they run up and they're covered in soot and like blood and whatever. And
it's poop. It's poop.
and it's the dried poop because this is a very dry sewer. And Mel runs up to Morgan Fairchild and she's like, "Oh my God, there's a bomb! You need to get all these people out of here."
And instead of playing it like, oh my God, there's a bomb, what does she do?
she pulls a fucking gun out. Not
any gun.
She's a gun and she has a gun and she's part of the bad people. Whatever, that's great. She pulls this gun out in the middle of the party. She's not like, "Hey, come with me to the office."
Yeah, not one person takes notice the mayor's got a gun. Like, you're looking at the mayor at a party, right? If there's a mayor at the party,
keeping
you're
your eye on
looking.
them.
And she's just got this gun out and no one's saying anything
What
about
kind
it.
of gun is it, Jack?
It's a Pearl Handle 380.
God, this thing is sexy.
It's there's a reason these are the number one concealed weapons,
It's
concealed
also-
handguns in the world.
It's also definitely the kind of gun that Morgan Fairchild carries around currently.
Absolutely. It's small, it's
That was her
compact, it's
personal
got
gun.
good stopping power. Let's get to it.
That wasn't in the script. She was just like, "I've got this gun. We can."
Hey, we need a prop gun. She pulls out a live one. She's like, well, how about this? Everyone's ducking as she waves a gun like Baldwin style around the fucking set.
Shit.
Everyone's just, oh!
I was about to say, like, The Crow hasn't happened yet. People aren't that worried.
This is a precursor to the Crow.
So we find out now that she's the one who covered up the arson. She's like,
Dun,
"What, you
dun,
think that? You think that idiot Posner could have done it? No, it was me. I'm gonna tell you all my story.
That was me, Shane.
It's time
a real
for me to
bad
give you
guy.
the parlor scene.
Talk
So
about-
here's what we did.
Scooby-Doo.
Thankfully, there is no parlor scene because we're smart enough to put this together.
Yeah.
Other than her saying, like, "What, you think that fucking idiot did it?"
In a good way, they don't hold your hand.
Yeah.
I do
So
appreciate that.
Eric comes out of the vents because she now has taken them to the office at gunpoint, which no one noticed. And the office is up above the mall, so you can look out over all the land. You can survey the land that you.
This is all.
One day, Simba, this will all be yours.
This is very overseer
but not
from
over there in
Fallout.
the dark area.
but not the section 4 over there where it's dark. That's where the elephant graveyard is.
We don't go to the Shadowlands of the mall.
not the Shadow Realm.
But Eric comes out and he basically just picks up Morgan Fairchild and fucking
Twirls around.
Yeah.
He grabs her by the pussy.
Yes, he does. He trumps her right up and he hucks her out a fucking window. And everybody on who listens to the show knows I love dummies, but there's not a dummy here. They had a stuntman,
Definitely man, by the way. He's not being a dick.
No, it's a stunt man with a blonde wig on and a dress, but he's
Somersault.
thrown out this fucking window, and somersault falls. And I mean, this is a 2-3 story fall that they don't show him land because obviously there's a cushion
Mattress
and stuff.
or
But they
not a mattress. They just put one mattress down. Good luck, asshole.
Like the big inflatable
Hey, yeah,
thing.
it's cool. It's Sealy. It's got a whatever. It's the 80s. We're fine.
It was one mattress, but it's posturepedic.
I mean, like I broke my back,
corrected.
but it doesn't hurt at all.
Billy Mays here. If you want to kill yourself in a mall and jump off, use one of my mattresses. Oh, he died from cocaine. Don't feel bad for him. They blamed it on airlines, but it was
Jeez.
cocaine.
Cocaine.
She gets impaled on a spire of sorts.
Oh, this is a beautiful
Some spike.
impalement.
It goes right through her. And you did get Morgan Fairchild to lay there with a spike coming out of her chest.
She at least sat there for makeup.
Yeah.
Yes, she did.
Good for you.
And Mel is like decides she's gonna run from Eric by going out the window across the rafters, not out the door.
It is the least rational way to escape.
I feel like she ran towards him to get away from him, right?
Because he just threw her out the window. Yeah,
so she's like, "Oh, look, I'm gonna go that way."
I don't know.
I'm never going that way.
And Whitney, you pointed out we were
wouldn't go
watching
down
it.
that route.
They're climbing through these rafters. He's chasing her, and they're like going across, like they're ducking under rafters and moving around and stuff. But then when they cut to the wide shot, they have moved
4
feet.
5 feet.
You've made zero progress across this fucking rafter walkway.
And there's a big banner hanging there, something about 4th of July or something. And so you're like, okay, someone's going to grab this banner and fall. She falls. She grabs the banner. Part of it tears. But Peter is at the next floor down, I guess.
And grabs her.
And like grabs her and saves her.
So, quick realization, this movie couldn't have been the whole week that we think it was, because way early in the movie, we have a gloved hand of our killer circling July 4th, but the calendar is already on the 1st. So, I mean,
so
we're
it's only been
talking
days.
about like
could've
3
flipped it.
days. Nope, I didn't see it.
Well, so maybe she didn't get her paycheck. Maybe she just got her tips.
No, they specifically
Yeah, but
say,
she's an
"Did you
idiot,
get
and
your paycheck?"
She's an idiot and it's her first job.
Well, 'cause
so
the
she's like,
same-
yeah, I got my tips.
The other girl that was a sales clerk got hers too.
Oh, well, whatever.
She was blowing the manager.
Yeah, that's fair. So Pauly Shore goes, him and Susie went back to the security room, and he's like,
Let's
hey,
check
everybody.
out the cameras, bruh.
And this is
Everybody, there's a fucking bomb.
You gotta get out of here, buddy.
and this is how it shows that he actually knows everything about the control room, because he knows how to get on the microphone, and he's like, I got this.
Thank
bitch.
God they set this up.
Yeah.
Right?
Otherwise, I wouldn't know that he knew to push that big green button that says intercom.
Right?
No, but yeah, he announces that the bomb is like. So these people have seen Morgan Fairchild fly out a window
They're
and get
still partying.
impaled.
They're
They're
like-
watching this girl get chased by a fucking mutant through the rafters,
It's part of the
almost
show.
fall.
Sipping champagne.
And they're just drinking and watching the whole time. Like, this is a great show. What is this, High Spirits?
What do you call this show? The Aristocrats. It is fucking just heartless, dude.
Yeah, it is.
So Peter saves Mel from falling, and Ken Foree starts shooting. The only time a gun is fired in this movie.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've got this pistol. I'll just shoot at this guy that's fucking 50 feet in the air.
Also-
how high is, I don't know. What is it?
Well,
It's
it's at
10
least 3
It's
stories,
3 stories,
up. Like,
but they're not like normal, like a house. Like, these are like
Right.
big stories. So I mean,
Right.
it's more than 30 feet. This is,
But I love how they
It's not gonna
shoot,
hit him.
because there's no CG, so there's no like fire coming out of a gun being shot. So you just see him, because I know you can see me, so I'm acting it out for you, where he like does the hand motion, like the gun is going off.
He mimics big recoil.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
and
welcome.
there is a gunshot sound, and then there's
Yeah.
like the twing.
But she's
upwards.
correct, though. There's no muzzle flash at
No.
all, because they didn't pay for blanks. They didn't pay for CGI, which is fine.
I'm here for it. Yeah.
I'm fine with what you did here. This gunfight means so little in the grand scheme
But
of this
it's-
movie.
It's the 4th time a gun has been pulled.
It's the
and
fourth
it's
time,
the
the first
first
time.
time it's fired.
We didn't get a gunshot until after an hour into this hour and a half movie.
4 minutes before the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, whatever. But so he's trying to shoot Eric, and Eric like falls and grabs onto the banner, and it like swings him down. And the
You can
banner,
totally see the wire.
yeah. And this banner is the perfect length. Like, whoever hung this up measured it. They're like, in case someone falls, this will get you just to the ground. Because he swings right down to the ground and plows into fucking Posner and knocks him into. Well, I guess it's the second floor, because he knocks him into that sporting goods store. And Posner and he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And Posner's like, hey, I got a bunch of money. You want money?
How can money fix this?
Yes, and which Eric's like, you clearly didn't learn your fucking lesson.
Yeah.
Like, so he's like, I'll give you money. Money. His last 8 words are money. And I wrote it down. Hold on.
At first, I thought it was a fishing pole that he grabs.
Yeah, he grabs something. Eric grabs something off the rack. You
Oh,
can't
you
really
see
tell
it right
what
behind
is.
them. There's a display that says
I didn't
a
see that.
display of fucking flamethrowers.
weed burning kit.
Oh, is that what it
It
is?
says it
Okay.
flashes
Oh,
real
it's a
quick.
dragon.
So like the dragon thing that my dad
Yep.
doesn't have because they're not allowed. Well, you're allowed to own them. You're just not allowed to use them.
But he didn't buy it.
But like, yeah, so I didn't catch that. I was like, the fucking display of flamethrowers in this, whatever.
It
movie.
flashes and you miss it, dude.
But yeah, and he says, Posner's begging, and he's like, please, I know I've said some terrible things. I'll eat my words. And Eric responds with
this.
fucking flamethrower just
Because
lights
it's
this dude up.
attached to propane.
Yes, because everybody knows that a display, you try before you buy.
This is the most dangerous mall in America. Crossbows come loaded. Flamethrowers come set up with propane.
There's a serial killer living in your vents. Your security guards run around with
And
fucking
perverts.
loaded guns.
Apparently, you've got cobras in the toilets. Murder mall.
There's robot security guards. That was a different movie, but same mall. Anyway, so this guy gets burned to death. Pauly Shore rides up on this fucking Honda motorcycle with the sidecar.
But this is exactly why malls don't keep gassed up vehicles with keys in them.
This was electric.
Because Pauly Shore is going to jump on your car or your motorcycle. And
With the sidecar.
And she even says, do you know how to ride one of these things? He's like, I'm a quick learner.
Also, it's got the sidecar, so yes, I do.
But not how driving motorcycles work. You're going to
No.
stall the clutch out. You're going to fuck this shit up, Pauly.
It's an automatic.
Listen here, Buzz.
I don't know.
I don't think
that's
they
how
made
motorcycles work.
Not in 89. You might be getting like a Polaris
I mean,
now.
it's
That's
Honda, so, I don't
Maybe.
know, whatever.
Not
but he's
89.
riding this thing around the mall, and he shows up, and Mel and Peter jump on. Mel gets in the sidecar with Susie, and Peter hops on the back of the motorcycle and like wraps his arms around Pauly Shore's waist.
But he's all for it. He's like excited about jumping on the
I feel
back.
like you almost had like two couples riding off into the sunset together. But no, you have guy, girl. It's a Sadie Hawkins dance of motorcycles.
Yes.
And even though I'm
Because they sleep in twin beds, damn it.
I'm fairly certain from like other shots that this like main area of the mall is right where the doors are.
Uh-huh.
But he has to ride down like 11 hallways while this timer counts down. By the way, I know you said something earlier, and I don't want to go too far back. You kind of just mentioned it offhand, but we didn't really cover it when he set the C4.
Oh,
he sets the timer for 31 minutes.
Your wife and I at the same time were like, who the fuck sets a timer for 31 minutes?
And you know what? It's a good thing he did, because they got out of there with like seconds to spare.
Seconds. They would have been obliterated.
Also, this explosion, great on you. It's a real explosion because they showed it again in the deleted scenes.
Okay,
and
so
it's
they did
not a
blow up like a
model,
building?
but it is
Well,
a tight cut.
So
Like,
watching it again, I wonder if, because it does show the facade explode, but when they zoom in on the flames, I almost wonder if it's the house that they set up to burn, and they zoom in so tight that you just see
Okay.
flame. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it worth a rewatch to find out? No.
I will
But-
watch this movie again, but not
watch,
right now.
but
Right.
watch the deleted scenes for it because it does show that scene again. And you see another deleted scene from it's the alternate ending or whatever they called it. The first pan is him and Susie making out, and then to
That is
Peter.
all that's different from that
Yeah.
one deleted
Well, that makes
scene.
sense that if they decided to cut out the subplot of them getting together, then they would have to cut out all of those little scenes.
And it
because
made the
Exactly.
movie
nothing.
10 to 15 minutes shorter, so
Yeah.
good. It's fine. I
Yeah,
don't
I mean,
need...
they were trying to get it under 100 minutes because I mean it's 70 or it's 91 minutes.
Yeah.
So I mean and when you look at runtimes, typically, especially if you're watching it on streaming, which we were watching on a disc today, but I
I
watched
did
it
AMC
before,
Plus.
It says 91 minutes. That includes your credits, and
which
stuff,
you
so.
you say like a couple things.
There were a
actually
couple
taken
things that
out.
I don't think I saw that you guys did.
Oh,
There were
okay.
certain scenes that she described, and I said, "Man, is that a blink and I missed it?"
We'll just do the end and then we'll go over this because it's over.
Yeah.
They make out, which you pointed out was really weird. Like you just watched your boyfriend die again.
We don't give a fuck about life at all in this movie. Even if you didn't watch your boyfriend get killed again, you watched Morgan Fairchild get fucking thrown into
Yeah,
a
well, that bitch
spire.
pointed a gun.
You've
at
run
you,
into
so.
a few dead
I'm
bodies.
not. Even if I don't like somebody, I don't think I'm gonna get horny over their death. Like even if I was mortal enemy to this person, like
I mean, it all depends. Like
Funerals
Charles Manson.
are the highest
what do
one
you
night
think the
stands.
pregnancy rate was after Hitler died? Like
I don't know.
Nine months later, there's a
Wasn't
fucking,
that the baby boom?
That was a baby boom.
That was the
yeah.
baby boom.
Oh, but
It's not because it's not because the economy was doing really well from all the money we made going
had
to
to
war. It's because Hitler died.
repopulate.
everybody's just horny watching Hitler autopsies.
And then like the camera kind of like jibs up and like shows the whole scene. It's your disaster. It's the end of the action movie scene. It's your Die Hard. It's your whatever where the camera's going up and you see the fire trucks and the cops and everything.
And then it sneaks into.
And then we go inside and we have burnt Eric corpse.
But the sound doesn't even match up. Like the score doesn't match up. It gives you like that bum bum kind of moment where his eyes should open and the dude just lays still.
And then 3 seconds later.
3 seconds
Yeah,
later.
I had to rewind it because I didn't see his eye open because it literally opens like a quarter of it. Now
Let's say flutter. It flutters.
Yeah,
His fucking eye flutters.
I'm wondering if that's supposed to be like, oh, maybe he'll be back. Like they didn't want to do the full on like eye open, like there's gonna be a sequel. It's more like, is he alive or is he still just like laying there and he's like, someone please.
It's just an ambiguous leave it to the viewer kind of bullshit.
Yeah, well, that's because we can do the next one, Phantom of the Mall, without a subtitle. And that way they can really confuse people. So they watch the second one first and then watch the first one.
Is it a prequel? The fuck?
What's happening here?
Well, yeah, so that's the end of that movie. And
by the way, credits came up and I was delighted and I was tickled as hell. This song comes on and I'm like, man, this is kind of nice. It's got like, I don't know, early Offspring vibes. Couldn't figure out who it was at first.
Super jam worthy.
Hit the Google button. Nothing came up until you look, and it's the fucking Vandals doing a song. Is there a Phantom in the Mall?
Oh my
and it
God.
is so fucking good.
This song is freaking fantastic. I mean, it is the late 80s, early
89.
89.
89.
So there's definitely some non-PC.
yeah, there's some questionable lyrics.
Joe
But-
Escalante talks about it
Yeah.
in a current interview. He says, hey, in 89 it was harmless, but now I see it's not. So he's got a little retrospective
Yeah,
thought
and
to
he
it.
totally and he owned it. He's like, yeah, I know today it doesn't hold up, but it does.
Yeah, I
not
mean,
that
and
one word.
The word is the R word.
Hard
Yes,
R.
Yes. The thing is, I did a little bit of reading, and this song, because I was trying to find out, I was like, well, maybe if it's only in this movie, maybe I can play a clip of it without getting sued. Like, I don't know where the rights exist. It was never released anywhere except as the credits for this movie.
Yeah.
I looked for it on a couple different streaming services, and I mean YouTube. From
Yeah.
the end of this movie is where you find it.
Yeah, I found it on YouTube, and there's like a couple people who put it up, and they clearly did not pay like $1,500 to put that up or
No.
whatever the rights would be. So I'm sitting here going, maybe. I mean, worst case scenario, they pull the episode down, I cut it out, and they put it back up. But you know, I might play a clip of it.
Is there a Phantom in the Mall?
Yes. What? Okay. So what was it? Is there a Phantom in the Mall?
Something people might ask.
Yeah, people might.
Is
I
he
wrote
a
it down, I
phantom
thought.
in the mall?
Or just a hard R in a broken hockey mask.
Which, by the way, it's not a broken hockey
But
mask.
it's
Not at all. Not at all.
Rock
But this
mask.
song is like in and out of making sense for this movie. Phase 1 was build
Oh God.
outlets. Phase 2, mayor's boobs. I like
like
both. How about you? I mean, I think Joe Escalante just wanted to write a song about Morgan Fairchild's boobs.
I mean, wouldn't you want to?
I want to listen to one.
Well, he did it for you.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, and I mean the
You're
song.
a 7-year, 8-year-old person.
It's I don't know. It's wonderful. It just goes through this. It's like one moment they're talking about like the problems of like capitalism in this mall and stuff, and the next moment they're like also Morgan Fairchild's tits.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually like fairly perfectly California punk rock, where it's like, hey, man, we hate the mall and capitalism, but we do like boobs, so we're going to throw them together.
I'm a huge fan of this song. I wish I could have it as a ringtone on my phone.
We can probably
I can
figure
figure
it
that
out.
out.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, I did marry an awesome person who can do that for me.
Does Derek know?
Oh, one more little bit of trivia that I discovered. We were talking about Jonathan Goldsmith, I believe his name is, the guy that plays Posner, the owner of the mall. I knew I recognized him. I pulled up his IMDb, didn't recognize.
Well, here, hold on. Can you imagine him with a full head of gray hair? In your mind's eye, close your real eyes.
Close my
Do you
real
see
eyes.
him with like a full head of gray hair?
Well, he
and
had
a
like
really
grayish
nice
hair.
full gray beard.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, so I saw that. That's his IMDb photo, but it didn't click. I'm gonna show you a picture, and I want to.
I don't
Shut
always
the
drink beer,
fuck up.
but when I do, I prefer Dos Equis.
No, it's not.
He is
Yes.
the most interesting man. Good
Ricardo
God.
Montalban.
The most interesting man in the
Oh
world.
my God, he really is.
And I knew I fucking recognized the guy. And especially I was like, why? I kind of recognize him. Pulled up his IMDb, saw the picture. I was like, I know this fucking face and I don't know why.
I feel bad that we didn't know this earlier. I mean, he doesn't look super dissimilar.
No.
But hey, goes to show you, man, a beard changes you.
He's way hotter later than he is earlier.
It's because of a beard. Whether it be
Also-
salt and pepper or
give me
pure
that.
salt.
Give me that silver fox.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I mean, I guess that might be why maybe you don't see those commercials anymore, because this guy is most definitely not any kind of Spanish or
Well, I think
Latin.
he died, but maybe not. Maybe it is like, hey, we got to stop putting this guy in tan face.
It's
I mean,
called
yeah, 'cause
acting.
the guy's name is Jonathan Goldsmith.
Acting.
That's
That's not a
that's
Mexican
not
name,
a Hispanic
huh?
name
No.
or a Latin name of any sort.
I mean, just because maybe you're he had a mother who was.
We all had mothers.
So you take saying that the mother. What maybe he could have. My sister's last
Saying
name
he
was
married into the
That's
Goldsmith
right.
nothing
name.
Hispanic,
your
and she
sister,
is
yeah.
very Hispanic.
Your sister looks like she's not related to anybody.
No, they. In fact, when we
To
would
anybody? Not even her parents?
we would go on family trips to Mexico, and they in fact stopped my mother and said, "Are you kidnapping a child?"
She said
Like,
yes.
they
No, I didn't
legit
kidnap her. I
thought
purchased
we were
her
just
legitimately.
taking her with us. That she was not. They
were compensated.
blonde, blue-eyed. My mom. I mean, she's tan, but like a white tan lady. I was the only one with blue eyes and blonde
She's like
hair.
Florida white.
Yeah. I mean, she still had brownish hair. And then my stepdad, light brown hair, blue eyes. My grandpa, blue eyes.
Bunch of Hitler's wet dreams out
Yes.
here.
My mother actually used to tell me that when I was a little girl. Thank you.
Ah, what a mean
She even
thing to
got me a
say.
picture.
But yeah, so you guys watched a little documentary about the song at least, and it's
Oh my
Yeah.
God, it's
apparently I just wanted to
fantastic.
mention because they said they wrote the song for the movie. And they're like, whatever, sure, we'll take some money.
They got paid pretty well, from what they
Yeah,
said.
from what he said.
Yeah, the part I overheard though was that it was just supposed to be in the movie, and they were like, no, this song's fucking awesome, so we're gonna make it the credits song.
They wanted you to have a little bit of reprieve from a bunch of murder and mayhem being the last thing you walk out of the theater with.
Okay.
And he said, like
That's what
the
it was.
last shot is Eric maybe opening his eye, maybe not.
So you're like,
and then
what?
you exit
And then-
with, "Is there a phantom in the
The
mall?"
last song is an overcooked hot dog, and then you just see it crack open there. Where
I mean, it would have left me a little bit more, I don't know, like in a weird mood. Because now I'm fucking bouncing,
I
I'm
know.
popping out of
yeah,
here.
Like,
if it ended,
get
then
it.
it was just like doom, 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 like this creepy synth music throughout the credits. No, it's like wasn't that fun, guys?
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby and get ourselves a snack. Capitalism, yay!
I thought you were gonna go. Let's get ourselves a Dos Equis, but you know.
I'm actually not the most interesting man in the world. I do always drink beer, and I don't always prefer Dos Equis.
No, I don't. I don't think I've ever asked for Dos Equis unless that was literally the only beer that was available.
I mean, I'll drink it.
I'll have them be like, "We have
cold.
Dos Equis." I'm like, "Amber?" They're like, "No." And I'm like, "Oh,
That is true. The amber is superior.
yeah."
Most ambers are. Or no, ambers.
Are you saying my friend Amber is more superior than me? Shout out
Oh,
to Amber. I love you.
I do know an amber. Okay, sorry. Correction.
I'm gonna say I highly recommend this movie.
I
I
recommend
enjoyed
this.
the shit out of it.
I won't say I highly recommend it at all, because I don't think the wide audience would like this. I wouldn't have liked this 15 years ago. I wouldn't have liked it.
Okay.
But I will say, if you're one of these people that loves a campy or lower budget horror slasher, whatever, yes, fully recommend on that. But to the general audience, no.
The reason
Yeah.
I think the reason both Derek and I like this is it's cheesy, but the photographer,
Cinematography.
Yeah.
that person knew what the fuck they were doing.
Absolutely.
They knew exactly
It's well
what
shot.
angles to do. It's well written, like you said. There are
I
certain
mean,
things
for what it is, it's fairly well written. They lay out things and then they pay it off.
without holding your hands.
The weak spot in this movie, and I'm not complaining about it, is the acting.
yeah.
Because everyone's new.
Oh, God.
Besides Morgan Fairchild's probably the only one at this point with a name. Pauly
Yeah,
Shore's a nobody.
Jonathan Goldsmith or whatever his name is, the guy that played Posner. He's been in a million things, so he was a big character actor. But like,
Oh, they got him cheap though.
yeah, most of these people are not. All the kids, especially, are like. I mean,
Yeah.
the girl that was like her first real role. Like she was in Playmate stuff. She played a Playmate in like fucking
Beverly
Beverly
Hills
Hills
Cop
Cop 2,
2.
and then like this, then it went into this. Like Susie after this did a bunch of like softcore porn. It looks like erotic confessions and hotline whatever.
Yeah, definitely a Spice Channel Cinemax.
But so I did.
Cinemax?
We watched this movie.
Skinemax. Spice Channel and Skinemax are two different things.
Oh, I know.
Spice Channel was a little more hardcore, but it wasn't full.
Barely.
Oh, it was still softcore.
Yeah.
But it was softcore where you saw the dick.
No,
I think you saw Dick.
I saw
the
dicks.
bottom of-
Email us at
I saw dicks on Spice Channel.
I'm telling
I'm
you
just
right
saying.
now, you only saw the bottom of the shaft. You never saw more
Still
than
a dick.
an inch.
You never saw penetration.
On Cinemax, you don't even see shaft.
Okay.
On Cinemax, it's like let's tape that to his leg. and they can rub together.
Doesn't Richard Grieco have like some softcore that he's done where it's no dick showing?
It's Greco.
Probably. Sylvester Stallone
Maybe
has
his porn name is Grieco.
Sylvester Stallone has a
got a
softcore
mustache of its
porn
own.
called The Italian Stallion. It was his first thing he ever did.
I can't wait to watch that.
Maybe that'll be part of our Rambo-thon. No, get it, Rambo.
Rambone.
So we watched this on Blu-ray from Arrow Video. It looks really great. When I watched it previously, before I purchased it because I watched it on the Arrow Video app. So they have a bunch of their movies streaming on there. So that's why I thought, and I mean, it's been a little while since I watched it. It's been a few months, so maybe there was stuff I didn't remember. But I thought the version that you were seeing on AMC, which is also the Shudder, would be the same version that was on the Arrow thing. Because a lot of the stuff that's on Arrow is also on AMC Shudder. I don't know if they're related or if it's just whatever. So, but maybe they do have a slightly different version.
I mean,
'Cause
I don't
this
think I
is the
missed-
special like Blu-ray cut. So.
I wouldn't think I missed anything if
No.
it wasn't in there.
One thing you said that you didn't get was the whole when they're walking up to the house, when it's a flashback when Melody is explaining to Pete.
Oh, and he goes to kiss her face and he kisses her nose.
Oh yeah, but
Fuck,
like
there's some
in the
bad kissing in this movie.
Oh, so much bad kissing. But the paper on the door that's like you need to
Condemned.
get, condemned or whatever. That was the one scene that you didn't get.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know. We already went over it. I recommend it. She recommends it.
I recommend it to the people that enjoy this genre and not
Yes.
just.
Well, and that's why I'm like, when I say strongly recommend or highly recommend, I'm like, most of you guys who are listening to this would probably enjoy watching something like
Exactly.
this. Or you're listening, you might just listen because you love the serenading sounds of my garbage voice, or you like being sung to.
How sultry my voice can sound.
Or my cackling.
You like being sung to by Jack. That's how you fall asleep. They find that section of you singing and they just loop it, and that's their noise.
Anybody that's fallen asleep to my voice, dude, seek help, please.
They're having these fucking sex dreams. I'll tell you that much.
If it's me, it's a sex nightmare. Trust me. Hey, if that's your kink, hit me up at.
But yeah, so next week the episode will be Lionheart with Jean-Claude Van Damme, which is a pretty sweet movie. I don't know if it's good or not, but it's sweet.
It's enjoyable.
Yeah, it's a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Yeah.
He's kicking a lot earlier than he is in Universal Soldier.
Hey,
Oh my
my
gosh.
favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movie is probably the worst Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, and it's Hard Target because it's the most fun.
I don't know if that's the worst.
It's
Pretty wonderful.
It's
The
enjoyable
worst,
as fuck.
worst pre-1998, you mean? Because him and Seagal both had a rough, it was towards the end of the 90s.
It's
so-
that death grasp of
the-
holding onto your career.
Yeah. So next up will be Lionheart. I do have a plan for basically the next couple of months. We're gonna have a nice transition. I won't spoil the movie, but we're gonna have a nice transition into It's Gonna Be Bay. So
It's gonna be Bay.
I totally said that when Derek told me.
all Michael Bay movies for the month of May. And I'm thinking, I haven't decided yet, but I'm thinking Superhero Spectacular for June because it's summer. That's when they come out.
This summer,
There's a lot of
one
bad
man,
superhero movies.
One cape, a bunch of dicks.
You're gonna have to do it now.
July is Rambo-thon, so get ready for that. 5 weeks of Rambo.
I'm so fucking ready for Rambo-thon.
I don't think we're gonna.
I've got my Ramboner.
I'm gonna say thank you to Evasion for providing our music. I'm always
Great
gonna say
record.
that. Buy their stuff. Go check them out on Bandcamp because they actually make some money. Find them on Facebook. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Check out the website, badmoviesworstpeople.com. Tell your friends. Recommend us to people. rate and review.
Hey, like, share, subscribe, chat.
Yeah, basically. Well, if you rate us, it helps it helps increase the profile of the show, especially on things like Apple Podcasts. So if you're listening there, like just rate, it's fine. And then if you have any suggestions for episodes or any comments, or if you want to tell me a funny story, I'm not taking suggestions in person anymore. You have to email me at badmoviesworstpeople@gmail.com because I want some fucking emails, people.
Yeah.
Not just receipts.
Exactly. So that's that. Don't forget to buy shirts and stuff. And we'll see you guys next week. I have been Derek.
I have been Whitney, and remember to tip your bartenders.
Please.
I'll always be Jack.
Goodbye.
Good night.
Good night and go fuck yourself.
I forgot my own line.
I could take out my notes. So we got more bars and malls. Has Morgan ever worn glasses? Football pads, hot chick. Pauly origin story. Nobody pays for yogurt. Fake fucking Baldwin. Silence. Slice the face thicker. Nerves. Nerves. I mean, we could even go down here. Worst way to die. Casablanca Cantina Dance Club Dive Bar.
Yes.
Crushing 10-pounders. Nostalgia drip. Who gave these kids Valium? Go on. I'm horny. Do you smell a raging fire? This guy never closes his mouth. Let's go dig up your boyfriend.
Yes.
This is the ramble. I'm just gonna keep doing those and just read them at the very end of each
I
episode.
think you should. I think
God.
that's a new thing.
Shortest episode ever. Just have Jack sit down and just power through the notes.